I'm focused. I've been watching for the omens. I've been listening to everything you said. It's been running through my head, locked and loaded. I got the feeling that you know it. Yeah, I've only just begun. I won't stop until it's done, till you're broken. So welcome to the fire. I'm the one with the lighter. Flame it, burn it through your veins as we're walking through the flames, getting higher. Bigger they are, harder they fall.
We return to the dark corners of a monument building against a steep cliff of a approaching valley. The back of a temple-like building, a single sarcophagus hides a secret hatch to the tunnels below. But as these lost and stranded wanderers found shelter in the temple, a man that they had known, an ally of the Nine Swords of the Hollow Valley, we found him begging for more than just his life. Clutching burnt papers with white knuckles, his facial expressions extreme and frightened, on the verge of madness, even as he attempted to recite in the information he had learned on a monster he believed to have uncovered. Cornell approached him carefully. The room grew dark and cold. Everyone but Cornell noticed a shadow pressed to the back of the temple behind Sid Simmer and behind Cornell, the shadow reacting with inhuman speed, its shadow 8 or 9 feet tall. But when Sun Simmer appeared to lunge to the back towards this shadow, the shadow diverged, moving between dimensions from 2D to 3D. Through Cornell, emerging from his arm, a bloated, dark grey furred claw made of twisted bone and pale flesh, 3 times the size and twice as long as a human arm, with long, talon-like nails braided to look like vines but molded of bone, and fur that seemed to react indifferently to the decently strong winds against the cliff. Unable to hide the kill or the abnormal growth of Cornell's arm, Rock and Cornell decided to separate from the hyperventilating elf and head below, searching what was a secret catacomb with a hidden secret, a buried temple blocked by magic to the god of rats, rivers, and smuggling. As Brock and Cornell explained what they saw, Moki's bold bravery chose to delve below and ended with a belly flop. 8 feet below, a 5-foot wide narrow tunnel, the resounding thud and the moment of tension slightly relieved. You return, Moki. The tunnel ahead is dark, ominous, and not in the first 15 feet, but past that, you see every 10 feet, on either side of the wall, up near where your shoulders would be in the height of this chamber, just above your shoulders, crow-like ravens with mouths filled with rats, rat tails, perfectly molded. What do you do?
Right, you have me a torch. I'll go down this torch. No. Thank you. Am I the only one down here?
You went back up, so he drops it to you.
I'll just look around, see if there's any writing on the walls, any door that's...
There isn't, and there doesn't appear to be.
Just a solitary room.
No, it's a catacomb.
Oh.
It's a tunnel.
So, catacomb. Well, the little, catacomb with dead bodies inside.
To your back, there is quite literally a wall that looks to be made of, or indented in the wall. It is an end. There's a proper wall on one direction and the tunnel the next, but the back wall has raven-like molds, but they're big raven molds, and they're molded into the wall, like they've melded this bird into the wall, and where the head is, there is a beak, but it is connected to a human skull, and there are many, many ravens to the back of this wall, the only place where no one looked. They look to be humanoid skulls. These molds of ravens are big, like human-sized birds, but they're just an indent in the wall.
Would I know that modeled after real creatures, or just poetry?
I mean, for you, either looks occultist or mythological, but you could probably make it. No, you have no idea. This is just something that doesn't entirely make sense. These are big molds of raven heads with actual human skulls and just a molded stone beak on the end. And you don't actually see the front of the human skull. It's like the head cap of the top of the skull. It's in the wall, like a catacomb. That moment of thud, you hear Moki begin to slowly clop the knee. You stand in the room together, the three of you.
Alright, well, I'm gonna go follow. It probably just happened to colors my mind, but I got of travel, of river travel and whatever, smuggling. Meaning, this would probably be an old passageway to a location near water or something like such. Or around an old lake. By the way.
You land behind Moki, where you can see the torch illuminating just further down the tunnel. Barely. You didn't first go down with light. You used light once you got into the place where there was like just a complete area of darkness. Right now, you've got a small breach of light where the hole opens up above your head.
I have a keen sense of so I can see it.
Yes. Well, ahead of you is a bright torch, so
I don't think it's bright.
he handed you a torch.
Yeah, but the Murky's will torch first, not flashlight.
The flashlight. Okay, that is a thin metal pole, like a pencil with a small orb of light at the end.
Yeah, that's what we.
It's not a torch,
Oh.
and it illuminates 5 feet.
Enough of my bird light vision,
5 feet of dim light.
so I can see 10 feet.
Yeah.
So,
Damn.
okay.
That's pretty good.
It's a tiny little.
It's so damn dark.
Moki's head is almost skimming the top. He's that tall in this place.
It's not too bad. I'll go down after coming.
Okay, down there.
Yeah.
So all of you begin to know. Melion, you're last. So Grok and Melion, you are the ones who notice that as Cornell begins to move down, the hand that was almost dragging across the floor slowly begins to almost remold into a real hand.
Oh, he's a real boy.
You saw it twitching the whole way back up the catacombs, but now that you've just suddenly gone back down, it's either this place or it's just somehow connected to just endurance. Maybe it's been a few days without like a good amount of rest. This place is slightly warmer than above you, but it's cold up here. You're on more of a cliffside, so there is a lot more breezier air bringing in cold chills.
What does the undercon say again?
Here, on the edge of the sarcophagus, woe to those who enter below, the devourer slips.
Will you have a real torch or something? Not really, but I can just see perfectly fine, so. Right. Do you have a torch? There's no.
I'll walk down the catacomb.
You're first.
There's no sconces in here.
You
Is
have
there?
to. No, there are weird statues at the top of at the height of the 8-ish feet tall ceiling.
Think anything that can make light? Actually, I have 2 torches in my toy bag.
You made them.
Maybe a little bit wet, so they're not very good. What do you pull out?
They are sticks wrapped in cloth that he has
That's a functional torch.
probably dipped in some ale he found at one of the cabins.
I attempt to light it.
Would I make you roll? No. You light a torch in a thin, narrow cabin that broke you behind you. You now see a good amount of light shine behind you, but your eyes see that it is a curved tunnel. There's nothing straight about this. It does begin to bend, and then as you look down that tunnel, there is another hook. There's another turn. All right, I'm going to skip forward. You guys begin to move down in time span of about 20 minutes. Moki, you are someone who likes to keep track of where you have gone. So to you, this feels like you have done a 180-degree turn, 10 minutes out, 10 minutes back in. But with a few more extra turns in there to confuse you. Ever faintly. It's not enough to actually cause any problems or like
But
if you
enough
fell...
where there's 20 minutes of walking, you've gone down.
Something. Yeah.
Oh, flip back around. Going back towards the tomb and downward angle.
Mina said this town has a sewer-like thing. Doesn't really make sense for a village of this size, but this could be it, I guess.
So, plan if we counter anything.
Ascertain that threat, run away if necessary.
That's good. As you head the edge of this 20 minutes, you find what looks to be a blackened wall. It looks charred in that there are faint outlines of what look to be seams, but they look blackened. And then, Moki, you realize it has a disproportionate amount of shadow than any other part of this wall has. It's so black, it's more than scorched. It's intentionally darkened, and but that's the end. It's the end of the tunnel.
There was flat end, dead end.
You approach a black wall.
Dead end.
What? Suppose
The handle.
Your hand goes through the black scorched wall and ripples ever so faintly.
Nobody affected. No dead.
Yeah.
No comfort.
You walk in and suddenly that blackness that you kind of like at the moment where your face moves out of, it is such a black room that it almost, you still feel like you're back there, but there's no light anymore. That light, that golden light of torch is cut, and your single torch, no, that's still there, but it does not illuminate the wider, much wider space. You see tiled stone floors
I have an actual
that
torch.
look heavily cracked and aged, and about 10 seconds after you enter, that golden glow moves through the illusion wall. Now, Leon, you see, while Moki's magic had no effect, your torch looks like it goes out, and then that red ember slowly just rekindles again. Once it passes through that dark, like suffocated for a moment before breathing back into this dark and ahead. Now, Leon, you lighting the torch at the back. You see Moki has hit the middle part where you can see at the point Moki couldn't see, but there are large pillars, 4 pillars separating and holding this maybe 15 to 20 foot tall roof above you.
Okay,
In some areas even bigger.
we are dealing with magic beyond extra special guard.
And what Moki has arrived at the foot of is a fountain. Multiple layers, and atop that there is a godly essence statue. A man with single sash over one of his over his lapel, the long hair braided back, weird rat ears that protrude up, where there is basically all human features, and a tail that curls around his leg, and a hand that points down, and a trident that is facing down. Yet there is a stone floor. And Moki, you look into that fountain, and it is dry.
That's the statue give up all the efforts. Give up.
Godly, it's an amount of robing that doesn't apply. That
Look like a priest.
no, a priest would look more priestly. This doesn't have any memorabilia of god emblems. Nothing. It is a guy with a trident pointing down, and there is a deep facial expression on there that looks both concerned and warning. But the godly essence is more of just that he is alone here, but looks so imposing. And the robes he wears don't symbolize any extra amount of protection. It is just that it's either a statue of a well-built rat man or a symbol of something greater. And Grok said it.
This is Hasper, or whatever. Exactly.
Even though there is no symbolism on here.
Except where I divulged. Do any of you know about anything about spirits or religion?
Maybe.
Generally, I know nothing about this. Other than the bare minimum that I figured out this was Hasper. I know the big gods. That's it.
I don't know what any of these gods.
Okay, this is an underground god. You don't know what it's saying. But the only thing you still all see is that there is no exit chambers in this whole place except for the wall, which you look behind you and it is as dark as the rest of the stone. It's not black like the inside. It's much more blended in, like one side is more than the other, more visually effective. The end of the corridor, the end of the chamber from the direction you entered, the far opposite side, you see small amounts of what look like dead mushrooms growing around what looks to be a half dome, a semicircle, like there would be a grate to a sewer here, but there's no grate. It's just a
Mushrooms in a circle.
no. mushrooms at the edges of a sewer entrance, but there's no bars. There's nothing stopping this whole room from flooding. It doesn't. There's no water. There's signs of water and age, but the back of the room,
Recent water?
nutrients.
When did you know it was lost in the rain?
Well, it stormed recently.
8 days ago, Felix.
It's pretty recent.
You mean the thunder that you were hearing? That was just thunder and a few bits of lightning. No storm, no rain.
Around 8 days ago.
Was there any rain?
That was when your ship.
But,
No rain.
it rained 8 days ago.
Really?
That was your ship, right? My ship went down. It went down a bit here, though.
Melion, it didn't rain when you were offshore.
Yeah, I probably didn't hit here.
Looking at the way it's pointing down, there was some undercurrent telling us that there was something sleeping down. Maybe it's the statue is pointing to something.
Did this give a name or a description?
No, just say
The Devourer.
Oh.
down below the Devourer sleeps.
So,
Alright.
Grok will walk to the statue and see where it's pointing to.
And Kevin, it points down at Stonefall, or the fountain that it's built atop. But this looks to be, God is the right word, but you may even see this rock and Moki as more of a guardian of this place. Like it's trying, the facial expression is not inviting, but it's not fear.
Fountain. Is there like a grate in the, like a drain water out?
Yeah, under,
So Grok is gonna hit like the pommel of his axe on the ground to see if it's hollow.
doof, 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 doof. It's a dull stone sound. It's not. If this stone was hollow, it would fall in. It's too. This is like it looks polished stone, but it's very aged.
You mean the bottom of the fountain? Tap just a general stone full of everything.
I just meant where exactly where it's pointing.
Moki. Oh, so that in the fountain.
Yeah.
The fountain is a good 10 feet wide. The statue is a human-sized statue, but with a good amount of imposing extra mold. Moki, you see inside there is one hole no bigger than 4 inches wide, and it is pointing down beneath the finger in the ring where this fountain dried would have water.
Was the epic thing sure that underneath the fountain there was just a player starting to fall underneath the fountain?
He just tapped the stone around the statue. He didn't tap fountain in the fountain.
Okay, I'll
You can
tap in the fountain.
Tap it in the fountain, and it feels like there is an echo where the hole would be going down, but it's next to it. It still feels like solid stone. Like that hole could run more than 10 feet. It's not like there is only 5 feet of stone. It's definitely more.
Would this little magic torch fit in that?
Yes.
Is this torch kind of?
No, not that I know of. Although I stole it, so I don't really know what it does.
Put it down on this.
Make a perception check. If any, you can really only get one good set of eyes in, but if there's an assistance, I don't mind.
Yep, I'll do that.
I'm looking at the statue.
22.
Melion, as he drops it down, and that light disappears for a moment, you notice that the statue's eyes are slightly reflective. The rest of it is like a grey stone. That looks where inside the eyelid there looks to be some actual gem or reflective stone. Not like actual eyes. But you drop it down and you see that white pinprick get further away. Drops 60 feet. Drops 90 feet. Drops about it looks like 120 feet before you see it again, only layered under something that you could only guess to be either water. It passes through a liquid-like mass. Yeah, something, a very dark liquid for being that far down the hole. There is that pinprick goes from being bright, decently bright from your angle, to basically nothing, and then disappears.
There's water or something else beneath the hole.
That's to be expected, but it's good to know. How far do you think it's down?
There's 120 feet.
Right.
Is the grate still there?
The grate is at the back wall, and it looks like there should be a grate, but there's not. It's just the half dome. It's at most 2.5 feet tall, with the very top of it being closer to 3, but basically just 2.5 feet. A crawl space, basically. No grid, and it just is dark through there. You can't see deep into it.
Right. Well, we have a way to continue. that's that great, but only address can fit through.
Cavity of an eye socket. It's made by a hand that has so much detail, and obviously with this age still holding well, you can imagine. It's hard to imagine it's human, how long it's lasted and how it's been buried over layers.
Probably a dwarf or an
Dwarf or elf.
Great, into the sewer. None of only address contained, or
2.5 feet tall is this half dome.
only address contained. Good.
Cornell,
Next one out.
Grok could, but he would probably get stuck. The opening just looks big enough for you to squeeze in. Like, you wouldn't be able to carry anything, but yeah.
Just thing around you.
Maybe you want to check if the statue could be moved around or something.
And investigate the statue to find if there's a mechanism in it to unlock something.
With this would still be, I would say
Secret
perception.
passage,
I would
I
say
feel like
I'd say
in everything.
perception because you're looking for signs of movement. Given your amazing religion roll, which you're not Christian right at the end, you're very sure that the option for there to be more than one route in and out would make sense. That being said, if they're transformed into rats, they could all fit down that hole very, very easily, you can imagine. You look around the base of where Moki is, you look, and you see that while you don't see any movement of the stone, it doesn't look like it shifts sideways or any direction moving out of the way. It looks like from halfway where the fountain lip reaches up, there's also like the opposite, where it supports the ground. Where that crack is here, it looks to be molded leak that is, its dark green tinge has kind of sifted out through where the base of this statue is, where the base of this fountain is. So it does look like it has had like leaking in that way where if it could be moved, it would have that natural, like if there was water in it, it would probably be pushed out if it was moved.
Like this, on one of the walls. Should we just go around the walls and run a hand along one so another camouflage entrance?
Absolutely. We'll say you're gonna take 20.
Yeah.
Easy. So what do you guys do?
Cornell, you willing to go down there?
Sure.
Take screw with you. Yeah. It seems to have grown a little bit attached to you.
Well, that's adorable. You gave it emotions.
Don't know why.
Good work.
What's your only goal now?
Well, whenever you feel ready. Alright.
So, no, for what? Why don't you attach a rope to him or something?
Just, I don't have any rope.
Alright.
Although I will say, something doesn't feel right, like you said about this place. But it should be fine.
You're definitely able to fit in, but there's not comfortable wiggle room where you're basically unable to, for the first part of this, use your hands to pull you along. You just have to like kick against the back walls to try and push yourself through. You begin to notice more than 5 feet in, there's patches of thin moss that begins to get more and more frequent, but it all feels very dry and like with a lack of moisture. You crawl further forward, you start to feel fungus-like tendrils at the corners of this narrow space that like brush against you as you keep going. Melanie, you're just watching him going first? Mm-hmm. Okay. You see him get 20 feet, 25 feet, 30 feet, and then you just can't get a good enough angle because there appears to be a, if minor downward slope, unless you're poking your head in, going up and down.
Yeah, I'll put my head in.
You put your head in,
Keep eyeing him from as far as
you catch another 10 feet with only moving your body in 10 feet. So you can see him 40 feet in before
go back out, and I'll just lean back against the wall and sit down.
your hand returning to normal. You begin to feel still how stiff it is, but you can even grab parts of these dry moss chunks on the wall and push yourself along with it. Not easy. I will ask you.
Oh, it's great.
Once you get 50 feet in, to make a climb check. Space begins to, while the sound behind you grows quieter, the sound ahead of you begins to grow louder, and you're hearing faint dripping sounds. You feel like you've lost maybe 20 feet down in elevation once you hit about 80 feet into this crawl space.
I feel like my head's lower than my feet.
And you actually feel like, whether it's by natural erosion, but this tunnel has gotten slightly tighter, becoming more like an even 2.5.
It seems to be getting a bit stiffer down here.
Right.
So far, so good, though. I'm hearing water.
And with a better athletics check, you can definitely push your way back through with your hands, but it will be definitely a harder roll for that. As you're now reaching about 100 feet into this whole space, he's distantly responding now. There's a break in seconds before that sound echoes back to you. You begin to hear the sound of a type of sewer. It doesn't sound to be any flowing of water in that way, but you hear the sound of... Actually, maybe a perception check. Perception. 13, okay. There's a sound. Sounds like a tight rope. Straining, gently straining, on occasion straining even more than just a little, so you can really catch that. You hear...
This is
about a minute crawl. The very, very distant sound of some sort of insect, and the volume of it is hard to tell. It sounds like you would hear the moving scuttling of a bug, but magnified and echoed through a tunnel. So, and it's harder to tell if it's just magnified by the tunnel. It's not close to you. Definitely an equal 100 feet away. Your stretch maybe goes for another half the distance you've just gone through. Actually, I'd say less. I'd say about 20. It's about a 120-foot tunnel until, and at that point, you're 20 feet from the edge. You can see the corner of a curved wall where about another 20 feet in on that curved wall, you can see a large hole pipe that doesn't have any liquid coming out of it, but that faint dripping sound is definitely coming from that and echoing through here.
I'll go the extra 20 and find myself out quietly.
The room in front of you appears like one big sewer nexus, which doesn't really make sense for where you are. You see behind you, there is a set of still holding heavily rusted iron bars with what looks like a very thin amount of sewer grime still like slicked to the bottom of the floor. There's a small footpath that curves around to what looks to be, with your dark sense, a darker, more open middle chamber.
I guess I will. I got my. So this is my lighter. Maybe is that beneficial?
Well, there's a reflection further down that way. So down that way, from your perspective, is actually back in the direction you came, but below, where you're seeing a singular large room reflected. There are many beams where you can walk between, where they reflect a large amount of shadow. But you see, in the direction of where it's maybe 80 feet, that's wrong, it's about 140 feet away from where you are, there is a curved stone stair, 5 feet wide, molded stone, that curves up and around to the roof, which appears to be flattish. That is the most you can see. It doesn't appear to be like any scattering of bones visibly. I mean, actually, you can see probably some very thin rat bones around the floors, still stuck to the bottom of the grates. But there is the reflection of your light casts a very distant reflection from some sort of stagnant lake bed to, if you were to look back the direction you came, it is under where Grok was standing, but more to the south. A lot of explanation.
So I'm looking for something that hopefully line up under the statue.
Yeah. You see a circular stone set of stairs that go up. That does look to align pretty closely. But there doesn't appear to be like an actual path upwards. It looks like this stone hits a point and then just hits the roof.
So it's like walls.
Yeah, but you don't even see like an opening where there definitely should be an extra floor level.
No,
Okay. As you walk towards it, you look at it, the moment you get to this larger room where this staircase is, that sound of scuttling suddenly stops, and you notice it, but it's about 100 feet away down a corridor where this nexus point appears to have about 5 different ones, including one that just looks to be a massive lake. But the lake you see is about 5 feet elevation below the actual tiled room you appear to be in. Like, it has not received much liquid in a decent amount of time.
But I can get to it from where I'm at. And I know there was at least a liquid in the statue.
Yes.
So I think roughly that would still line up.
Yeah, the stone steps are very, very close to the edge of this.
How big is the lake?
At your distance, you can't even see the other side of it, but it looks to be a total of 30 to 40 feet long, at 40 at the most. But you can hear, and now that you get into that room, you can see there is, along one of the larger pillars that supports a kind of view into this lake, there is a large rope that is heavily knotted in itself, and then stretched out over the lake, out to darkness, where you can't see what it's pulling at, but it's like tight on something.
Okay, so I'll go up to there. I'm assuming that kind of acts like where that rope is at, acts as a head, like this. I will
Make another perception check for me if you want to. Looking out to where there isn't much light at all. 17. Good. You see something that makes sense. It is a life raft made of wooden slates and ale barrels that appear to be placed underneath in a life raft sort of situation, which you see there are little bits of things on top of it. Like, that was an escaped vehicle, probably for Sinsima.
This has to go
But the stone steps, as you're like there at the edge of where the stone steps are, at the edge of the lake, where the rope is, it's all very close together. You see that there is some outline of a circular ring in the stone on the roof. Like, even though these stone steps lead up to nothing, at the edge of where that stone step is, there is a indented ring. Like something is supposed to twist.
so that's really nice.
At this point, it doesn't even look like there is an access point below. Looks like, unless you're able to get your grip in and move what looks to be about a 10-foot wide ring, which is embedded 15 feet in the air, you could go up the stairs and try to reach out, but you're not going to get your full arm grip along with a base head. And it's triple the size.
Well, it's not anymore, because it's calm down. Yeah, I'll make my way up the stairs and check that out. Do I have to cross the lake to get that?
You hit the top of the stone stairs. I'm sorry, I did not explain this the best. You hit the top of the stone stairs, and it's this flat stone roof. It actually looks like molded by brick above you. There is no entrance, but at the edge of where this stone step, like the final step hits the roof, like there just should be a continuation. That is where that ring begins. And it is a ring that basically hits the base of the stone stairs, but still above in the roof. So even as you climb up, even as you like push up faintly, it still feels like just solid stone. It's not moving. It is just a roof.
I will
Dead end stone staircase.
I'll use the pommel of a knife that I have on me.
Mm-hmm.
You have a knife now?
Before I just
Oh my, that's my thing.
I went from big sword to a small.
Wow.
Hit the back of it to the train.
I'm not even going to make you roll for it. Those who are still observing the statue, listening for Cornell.
I'm listening
Doing
inside the
both.
grade, but that's it.
The grade is about 30 feet away, so there's still...
No, I'm sitting next to the grade.
Cool. Yeah, the statue is 30 feet away from the
Yeah,
grate,
sorry.
so you still hear the sound of this distant... doo, doo, doo. It sounds like it's reverberating through layers of stone or maybe even metal. Grok, you hear a familiar kind of ringing in that doo sound, like stone vibrating between two plates of
I do.
stone.
What? There is a contraption here. Well,
No, it's probably Cornell.
is that you?
Can I hear him?
Yes. It's very, very quiet for a good drop down. You can hear him, and
Reverberate. Echo.
that hole you don't actually see. Like there isn't the hole that you were looking at. There isn't one there, but you can hear as if there is an access point where sound can come down.
Without wanting to yell, I would just tap 3 times. Well, probably through loud backs.
I'm listening to try to ascertain if he's doing some sort of
drop
pulse code.
little torch
Or
there.
listening for secret codes. But I know that he definitely doesn't.
I just want to make it sound unnatural.
What? I think that's him. Alright, Loki, what have you found in this room?
Nothing.
Right. Well, it's clearly from around where he is, unless it's a lever or something.
Maybe if we destroy the statue.
No, that can't be it. That'll probably just fuck up a lot of things.
That's the code for 3 women and a small teenager.
Look, I don't think he knows what that means.
There's magic at the door, so if it is an activated thing, you probably have to use magic to do it.
There's no water in it, but that is it. And the trident points down.
Like the double layer as well.
And where that kind of up and down part is at the base, that leaks green something. You know what I mean? Like you can stand up on it, but you have to be very
That
delicate.
trident is also stern, like it's not real trident.
It does look, yeah, it is made of stone. There's a cast.
Like carved stern or cast?
Cast. It is a cast of it, not of stone. It is a cast.
stern.
It is a cast of a trident that you just tried to break off.
What does that mean?
like concrete.
Yeah.
Okay, you cast concrete.
Oh.
Yeah,
Sounds like
even to you, Kaden, it doesn't make much sense that stone can be manipulated and molded to the hand. That these things don't.
It's like a dumb travel idiot thing, or like a general thing.
This is like this. This isn't masonry, even though it is.
Like it's like a common thing where molten stone is made in the city and stuff, like concrete or no.
It does seem like a similar type of stone, very very aged.
Okay.
But the way it is molded, like the ravens eating mouth, it's too detailed for it to be made naturally.
So it doesn't look like it's cast.
No, it looks like it's cast in that like a forge casts a weapon.
Statue's pointing down.
Yes, the finger's pointing down and the trident is facing down. Reverse hands.
Rock will activate magic viewing merit on his goggles. Magic viewing.
Okay.
So that's detect magic.
You feel like a bit of a glow behind you. You feel the items on your person give a faint glow. Nothing else.
Nothing else? Alright. Rock will then touch.
That hole that you put light down has vapors of a dark color that seem to just like whiff out of it, but it doesn't look like it is the part that's magical. It looks like something like that.
Alright. Rock will try to move the arm
Smart. Just like me.
of the statue that's pointing down.
Okay. Make a strength check.
Oh, like, not like a strength. I mean, just like checking if it just.
Or moves up or down.
Yeah, it's just checking if it's a contraption.
Well, if it's very old, it'll be like fucking stuff. So
Yeah.
It would be looking for.
Just test if it's easily
Question, yeah,
Probably
what is your
stuff
strength
like that.
score?
16.
Okay. You pull on it gently, like you would expect it to move, and you instead feel and see where the shoulders are, where your hand is. You hear, and it bows slightly. Like this is old stone. It's not magically cemented in place. It upon a even light amount of pressure, just with its aid, appears to begin to crack. So.
We got something going on.
Doing a little bit of inspecting, you climb up to the highest point where the stair meets the roof, and kind of like sit there at the, and as you sit there waiting for them, you look out and you realize that where that invisible hole is in the wall, it is actually from an angle where your eyes are basically on the roof. It is like a hole in the roof where water would come out of, and that there is a plate that separates very, very slightly between the hole and the roof and this kind of like filter gate between where liquid would pour down and through or go up and in. But it is a very... So you didn't see a hole, but you're realizing that there is a thin piece of stone that is like plated between the two but allows both air and stuff in. And as you get up to that elevation point where you look in, that tiny gap holds a faint glowing light. That is the small rod that didn't get swallowed by liquid, but instead swallowed by magic. And you remove that faint rod from that hole above the staircase, where that ring is, tiny little hole, and you remove it, and it starts to glow again in that dark little 1-inch space. It did not glow. And what do you guys want to do? You got the stick. What do you guys want to do?
sorry, the mechanism of the statue of the Pathfinder as well.
Well, trying to think that maybe it's not.
Can I push the statue over?
Strength. Or, yeah, I'm just going to say strength. Just roll a strength check.
21.
Yep, okay.
Sheesh.
You watch as you grab top,
I put my arm strip. I'll
reaching up.
push it from its legs, like put the entire thing on.
Okay. You push it from its legs, and it doesn't appear to buckle at the place you'd expect. Because you don't feel like when Grok touched the arm, it started to crack. You see Moki strain his muscles. One arm's especially damaged, so maybe not as much that one. Strains, and the feet
Okay,
don't
that's
crack
not a good idea.
like the shoulder did to Grok. And Grok, you begin to notice that at Moki's feet, a very, very faint dark liquid begins to pool. Because, can you pass me this down? At this point here, where all of that liquid was coming out, that part lifts.
The entire statue is lifting.
So the entire 2 layers of the fountain lift up as you begin to push the feet. And Grok, you see amongst muck and just very, very stagnant liquid that has just been stuck under here, where those seams where we were seeing dried spillage, now you see what looks to be 4 or 5 stone cogs layered but have a ring where the base plate of this fountain is placed on top of. It's not magical, it's mechanical. But even from what you're looking at, it's a ring. What are circles meant for?
Engineering knowledge check.
Sure.
That's great.
Probably best to rotate it clockwise or anti-clockwise. Rocky, Grok, and Moki have both tried to... That's a great...
It's their ship, man.
Rocky.
Pulling it with me.
No. You were just basically pulling it
Just
off
standing
its
there
hinges
looking.
/ pushing it. All you managed to do, Moki, was to literally uplift the base plate, right? Tilt it on a 90-degree angle where you see the shoulder of the trident breaks off because it was already under a small amount of pressure, but the rest of the body basically rests fully on its side. The base plate being this kind of now ring that stands adjacent to the hole where there is...
Brooke, I don't understand any of this.
There are cogs made of stone.
Moki, I need you to rotate it clockwise. The main plate.
What's clockwise?
I'll get him and walk over.
You see
On the clock.
Rocky has ripped off the statue, and under the statue there are a bunch of cogs, but a ring that looks to be
Left to right.
holding
Right.
all of these cogs inside.
I'll try and twist it.
Okay,
Wait, no, you
Which
don't
side?
hold it.
this way or this way?
Left to right is what he said. Do that.
Okay,
Left, right. So this
So clockwise.
clockwise.
Righty tight.
I just pulled in thinking,
Lefty loosey.
That's you.
it moves very, very slowly, and more sediment begins to slowly leak out. The stuff that was dried looked to be a very dark green. This looks to be just like a black liquid, like water, but very, very black.
I notice anything pressed against this wall.
Yeah. Well, you were kind of like moving up and down, and then where that single, you got like a shower head embedded where that hole that goes down is supposed to be. You see it shoot up, and then the entire ring roof lift 5 feet, like disappear into the roof, and then you begin to hear things above you churning, gunk, gunk, things that haven't moved in a long time. I mean, this route could have been used by Sincere if he knew it was here, but you guys begin to find a slowly forming stone staircase around the ring of this statue in the center of the room begin to form. And Moki, each stair is 5 feet wide. So for a normal horse, a little complicated. For you, a piece of cake. Nothing like stairs. These are steps for giants. A 10-foot wide path, the descending staircase grows as you keep rotating and keep turning. Cornell, given 5 minutes of that clunking sound, literal black ichor that begins to leak through all of the seams and around you, luckily you moved away from the staircase, begins to pour and filter into where the sewer bed is. You don't hear a sound.
We'll walk down.
Right. Edris, you coming? Yeah, I'm right next to you.
Let's go.
My torch went out. But, yeah. That's now. Never mind. I put it out. I'll relight it now.
I mean, in a room without much oxygen, it's Not a great idea. But luckily, the room you were just in was pretty big.
Probably a lot of methane in the sewer. We died and we all explode.
Do you tell me that?
Yeah, well, I don't know any of that.
Well, that's unfortunate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
There are a bunch of minutes ago. You would have.
The ground would collapse beneath us. Ah, look, a blackened corpse.
Time
Probably not
outside.
But we would have also been smelling it. What's that gross smell? I sure hope it's not poisonous.
You descend. You will reach the edge of where you notice that 10 feet down, where these new stairs begin, each step is covered in a layer of this dark black tar-like liquid that is sticky and sticks to the bottom of your boots, your hooves. This squelching sound of your own feet against whatever liquid is pressed, squished to the stairs gives Cornell a very loud introduction to their arrival.
Logical novel.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like a human sewer.
It looks humanish if it's, probably close to. It's centuries old, if not longer. There's no doubt that whatever was in that temple was not made by human hands. Whatever's down here could have been human if they held an equally strong sense of their underground. This could very well be dwarven. You're not sure.
Can I do a history check to double check that the past owners of this land was Duragar or Drow? Because I read Undercommon.
I'm going to hand you my torch. I'm going to look around. Oh, better not go near the lake. It's probably highly toxic.
Well, there's probably also some things that are alive in there that we don't think we're
Yeah.
a lot of fungus down here.
What about collecting some?
Where did you say the rope connected to that thing was? The raft?
It's like
Attached to the barrel?
Basically right here. There's part of the wall where you filter in rope.
What's in the barrel? I'll just go have a look.
We'll say the rope actually holds the barrel. And you check in the barrel, and there looks to be a large amount of something that's mush. It's brown in coloration, at least from the light casting into it. It doesn't look like feces, and it doesn't smell like feces, but it does smell like kind of rotten food.
What other pieces? Does this seem like a functional sewer?
If it wasn't before it, if not now, yes, it definitely was before. And actually, because of this, you couldn't see a general current, but you're seeing this thing kind of go back and forth this way. So it's definitely something this direction that you and Cornell can gather to be south.
So
Southern current.
the barrel's not attached to anything, right?
The barrel isn't attached to anything, but it is heavy enough that it has rope around it.
Okay. Rook will pick up the barrel and try to drag the raft towards it by walking backwards with the barrel.
Oh, alright. That would be...
Disturb the lake, let's go!
Yeah. What is the...
There better be a kraken down here, bro.
It would be...
Strength, probably.
Yeah, let's just do strength. Plus your +3 DC of 13.
Stop rolling twos. Higher than a 2 today. I have a 5.
5.
Just take 10. Well, it's a bit late now, but just take 10 after. Yeah.
And as you all begin to investigate, and Grok begins to pull on a barrel that you can see beneath his feet begin to slip. The moss beneath his feet just giving way. You thought it was more substantial. It was, while in a dark layer, it looked like normal moss. It just begins to peel away, dry and now heavily decomposed. The footing beneath you slips. You manage to keep hold of the barrel, but Grok's gonna slip in unless you let go of the barrel. It's a 5-foot depreciation into whatever liquid it is. It doesn't look like anything other than a large sewage vat that looks more just like a cabin.
Rook will drop the barrel in.
Okay. You see it hit the corner of the area.
Why don't you just drop that in?
Sorry, I was about to fall in.
The loot is more important than your life.
Look, I don't want to get an infection for even touching that stuff.
And Rock, only because of your deep dark vision do you see the small bag of some sort of amount of valuables drift slowly away.
Where's your fucking squirrel? What has he been doing this whole time?
He's following it, so it would just be behind him. So sure.
Oh, your hat is not a pocket dimension that holds only a squirrel.
Actually, wait. So it's 5 feet deep. So when the barrel hits the water, what happens?
It seems to sink decently far down, and you can only see about the top rim of that wood, and the wood barrel begins to, heavily underwater begins to drift down.
So when it starts drifting, Grok will sit down and put his legs in and try to just hold it.
Okay, doing this, let's just say,
Surely,
let's say an acrobatics check. Because you did let go of this.
surely I won't roll 2 again.
I'm going to say
Maybe.
this. Oh, what is your modifier?
There.
Cool. Okay, I'm going to say the DC for this is 10.
Sure, it's not minus.
Surely I won't roll 2. Oh, it's 13. Okay.
Over here, I'm gonna check penalty.
Oh, you're right. That's one. Followed.
Still succeeds.
11. Okay, so you don't grab the barrel, you get your feet over the edge, and you wrap your legs around the now half sewer-soaked rope. That seems to hold, but you have to grab onto the edge of this. This current is very, very faint, but it is consistent, and it is pulling south. Melion, you head in a direction to...
I'm just scouting.
In that path is north. Down that corridor,
I don't have my torch with me. Is it pitch black?
basically, the only thing you hear is this very, very, very quiet, distant. It echoes so much you don't exactly know the distance. Thudding sound. Consistent with running, but it sounds miles away and within 500 feet.
In that direction.
In the direction your characters are looking at.
I'm looking, huh?
That is north. This sewer system travels south.
Okay. And that little hole in the wall, I'll just check in there.
It appears to be one of those openings where water filters up into something, like a crawl space.
Rock and lift him.
Come here, boy.
Yes?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can just lift him straight up.
You are stronger than me.
Oh, I can pretty my lifting weight. I can lift. How much do you weigh?
270.
I can lift 800 pounds over my head.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. Grok is also holding something that is towing. In the opposite direction, pulling.
Sure, that's slack on the rope. If I can.
There's no slack on the rope.
No.
That's the opposite. It's taut.
That's fine. I can drag 4,000 pounds.
Mhm.
There.
So you begin to slowly. Well, it's on Grok's hands.
Once I get him off, I can reach the barrel.
Yeah.
I'll just get the barrel to the ground.
And the only person who doesn't need to roll a skill check slowly begins to walk it back. Grok, you understand your place a little better.
It's
like,
grab it. I can start walking slowly.
Go back.
It's
Okay.
very closer.
So it draws it back to the edge, and there's again a 5-foot drop, so you can't lift it up onto it unless you want to completely bank it. Do you?
I will try and lift up on
Great, you do, and everything falls off. And you lose it all.
Oh, well, I didn't know. You're a escape plan, huh?
Oh god.
I guess the wise too.
Well, if that's the case, then just meet someone.
Next time, go grab the barrel. Let's do that.
Actually, I just looked almost. But to be fair, the reason why I wanted to pick up this barrel wasn't just for the raft, but it's full of rotten food. I wonder if we could attract those monsters away from us. Just feed it to them.
Well, if it's not been here for a while, we'll track them in the first place.
Yes, but those trapped in the container. Well, we'll see.
Rock will cut the rope with the great axe, pick up the barrel, pull up the top.
Carefully saw giant.
There's like a plug in it.
Yes.
Let's maybe not for sure. That we didn't know nothing about. And could
And Rock will just
violently murder.
pour the food at
You
the.
just tip the barrel down and let it just slowly filter.
Literally just standing there. I'm looking into the. I'm like stealthily looking into the thing, trying to see whatever's there, and then Grok walks up next to me.
I was also wrong. That way you heard this whole area is specifically like this region.
Mm.
This way you're that faint, padded, stomping
just-
sound.
Doing this.
This is why this stuff
This
is
is that sound. That way, north is the center.
He described buzzing.
Okay.
Well,
That's
we have
just
this rat.
Okay, so this guy looks over here.
So it sounded like insect.
Scuttling. Okay.
Tiny
look,
insectoid feet that
I
somehow
look
echo
next to me
louder than they
when
fall.
Grok is emptying a giant barrel. Do all of you all just smash around like giant bears making noise whenever we're trying to be stealthy?
I do.
How about all of you go stand in a corner and shut the hell up for 10 minutes? Or, thank you.
Did you put out food in the thing?
Yeah, he pulled the food, the whole food on the ground.
What the hell is this? What are you
Dropped
doing?
it, and he walked away.
Wait, what is on the, what type of food
It's
was
like,
it?
well, it's at this point, it's just an amalgamation of heavily rotted, coagulated chunks.
It's like half
Perfect.
compost. So
Yeah, but still liquidy enough that it's very slippable. You know, it is in a decent way a DC 10 dexterity check to.
this is gonna ruin my shoes.
This is the grease spell. Rock just laying
Oh,
on
God.
top of her.
So I'll attempt to surpass or move past this.
Jump the 5 feet. Yeah, and it's seeping into cracks and slowly making its way. You notice that there's some depreciation in that direction that you.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna creep into this area.
It's the weight that is important.
I know elephants are big.
That density is not either a mile down. You can't. That's the problem. Is that it's echoing down this thin tunnel, and you're looking at the roof that is 9 feet tall. So an elephant isn't fitting in here. About 8 foot wide, 8-9 foot wide tunnel. You get that sound, either retreating or approaching footsteps. He's very far away.
Mm-hmm. If it goes that far.
100 feet. It does. 100 feet.
Okay.
You hit what seems to be 3-part break off. Right, left, forward. Which you notice to be north, south, west.
You can still hear it ahead of me. Is there anything
In the tunnel,
to the right?
ahead of you, to the right of you, it all in the kind of nexus, it all begins to kind of echo together. So it's hard to tell.
I'm gonna turn around, come back.
What languages do you speak?
Everything.
I speak Elvish, Common, Sylvan, Undercommon, Orcish, Giant, Draconic.
Okay.
Sorry. I replaced Draconic with Icerid.
Oh, nice. Okay. Wow. Yeah. This strange, distant, scuttling sound. And then what it sounds like, some sort of muttering in a language you're familiar with, but you've only trained in. You don't hear it. The Grok looks like an orc. He doesn't look talked in it. Distant down that tunnel, where that skittering sound is, it sounds like an insect that's oversized, but it's just making too much noise in a tunnel. Orcish phrase that says food, and in a phrase that is more like hungry.
Sound like an orc is saying that?
It's in Orcish, yeah.
I've probably never actually heard an orc speak
Never heard
Orcish
an orc speak, so it echoes, and it sounds rapidly.
Okay. That's coming from down the
Northern
grate?
Yeah.
What's
That grate is rusted iron. It is very rusted, but it looks to still not have any breaks in it.
what's to the west? Sorry, east of me, right?
East, what looks to be a small open path connecting to another series of. It's set, echoing through the right passages as well.
I return to the port.
You thought, even though you are very quiet, you thought you heard it stop and start, but this skittering is so unnerving. You're not sure if this thing, multi-limbed as it sounds, is an orc riding an insect, but it didn't even sound like an orc. It sounded too tone. It's different. The tone is different. It's not so deep that you'd expect.
I come back. Okay. So appearing in this group. I don't know where we are. Up that way, I heard some sort of insectoid thing, like you said, but then orcish word, like something's hungry there. So either the insect thing speaks orc, or there's something else there. Down that way, I point to this tunnel next to us. It's pretty far. There's something huge at the end of it, or I can't make out the distance, but look, unless we have a map down here, what are we looking for? Or is this it's just miles of tunnels?
Well, we know that Albert was going to escape down this raft here, so we'd follow his footsteps.
Albert was crazy and probably had no idea where he was actually going.
We could evacuate with this raft, but
What happened to the raft?
No,
it's still here.
I see it.
No, what happened, what happened to all of the stuff on it?
it fell off into the
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay.
I don't think you can carry my weight.
I think you'll be fine. You would have been better if someone cut the rope on this side.
It's most of a rope still, but
It's already beached.
But yeah, we can just kick it back into it.
Again, what are we looking for down here?
I don't know.
Why are we here? Let's just leave.
Well, because it's quite interesting.
Why? For the archaeological part? Look, there's definitely... This is not the sewer for the village. The villages don't have sewers. So it's an ancient structure that somebody's built over.
Which way does the sewer river flow? That way?
which you approximate
You,
south,
you grab Alice.
back towards Krill.
Still up there.
Is that's fine, Bill, right?
Huh?
Is it proof enough?
Oh, I
I
have this.
guess.
Well, that'll be fine, but it's 5
Actually, this, Alice, did anyone actually see?
I don't know. I didn't.
Because
I didn't see much.
out of character, I read something very
Curse of intelligence in real life. Oh.
That's not reading comments.
It's okay, it will come out.
No,
Yeah, we're gonna
you're only going to read comment terribly.
I'm reading on now. Most of it sounds like gibberish.
Yes, because it is gibberish. He was a crazy guy. This has nothing to do with what we're doing here. You want to go back to Edmina? Sure, we have proof that he was here, but he's dead now, so 5 gold. Really not worth it for going back to Cooler.
Also, that's the road goes south, so I didn't know where it could go. But
You said creatures were speaking Orcish.
I heard one orcish phrase, like someone was just real hungry. It didn't sound like an orc, although I've never... The only orcs I've heard speak were very not, normal. Not like you, but not like how they normally are either.
3 big ones too. You held that big shit.
Right. What was down that way?
Long-ass tunnel that splits off in like 100 feet, but down the end it sounded like there was something giant moving around. But it sounded like it was ages away, but I can't tell.
I think we got to head back and then go down where we had before, or we crossed this murky, shit-filled river.
Right.
We're not deep enough to be in the Underdark yet, but there could be an entrance to there from here. But, I mean, yeah, this whole area was probably from dwarf. This whole place was probably made by dwarves. It's this bit.
Probably Duragar then.
Probably.
I've been mixed between Drow and them.
The undercommon thing on the thing upstairs was like scratched into it or recarved.
Yeah, from what you were looking at, it looked to be scratched.
Okay.
But it looked to be scratched in heavily enough that you couldn't tell if Sincere had done it. Like, it could have even been done because it was,
Let's take the
not
raft.
carefully.
Clearly there's something in here that we don't want to meet.
taking the raft will avoid that.
Simmer was very sure that this was a safe trip.
Simmer was crazy and is now dead.
Yes, that's a very good point. I don't think it's stop me. I don't think. Like, look at this.
Was there what's going on? Was there any like thing on the raft that he could have used for paddling?
Yeah, there was an all.
There was an all.
This probably doesn't even go anywhere. He probably just had this here so that he could go out in case something was here, and then could come back if he needed to.
Well,
There was an angle in which the liquid moves very slowly.
If this doesn't go anywhere in a few days, we don't have any rations.
No, but you can kill things on the floor. Oh, I mean down here, yeah.
Yeah, down here I can't. There's nothing to kill. So
we're just gonna back off.
You said you didn't like it down here. I don't like it down here. I want to leave.
like, if I fall off that raft, I will.
Well, let's leave. We got
It's
You
only
can't
5
swim.
feet deep, so
I haven't swam in decades.
horses are actually not pretty good swimmers.
You haven't seen me.
No.
Let's head back up then.
alrighty then. I'll go repair up the cart upstairs. It'll take 2 hours.
I'll need help getting up. That was quite a big drop.
Do you mind helping me try and decipher some of this shit?
The pages? Sure. I mean, not right now. I just need to look at them once, and then I can look through them later. But I want to, if you're gonna do the cart, I want to go through the town, see if we can find anything.
Well, let's all just get out of
That is, as you begin to...
Wait, so the water is 5 feet down, but we don't know how deep it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like dark and briny enough that it does have a layer of sediment on
Do you wanna
the
quickly
water
check?
surface.
No, we've already decided we'll be
And time,
We should get out of here now.
and
Alright. I think we just drove the locals. Time to go.
Go up.
Yep, now?
Go up. Should I close them?
Yeah, probably.
can't close it from down here.
Oh no, I
Yeah,
go
once
up.
we're up there,
We
yeah,
all go
we'll
up.
close it.
I twist it the other way.
And 5 feet in front of the Hasper thing. I'm gonna say in Elvish. Hello, old father of trees. Could you send a message to Hasper, please? This is me in Elvish. And thank you for our safe travels. Thank you. Alright, I'm gonna go scout the door.
To a rat hole?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll go out in the hallway.
I think he's either Brandon's God or saying something about tails. I can think where it's
Weak Elvish.
So do you head to the
Okay.
tunnel that leads
Yeah, I just go out into through the illusion wall.
through the illusion wall? That tunnel, that elevation point, because I was thinking one step ahead, that elevation, this catacomb, is going to be hard to get Roki back up through. There isn't the set of stairs that leads to the top of that.
Well, Grog,
You move 20 minutes to get all the way there, or
do you still have your rope? Oh, well, I guess we can all take the rope with us. You can grab them. Okay. There's the 8-foot drop that I don't know, we're going to get Monkey out of.
There should be stuff inside there. We can make like a faux staircase.
For 8 feet. How high can you jump?
Why does jumping work in combat?
It's
acrobatic.
it's about a 4 foot, 4.5 foot wide space.
Or do I just do a check? I have a +6.
So yeah, that's also the problem is it's 8 feet directly to the
So-
little open space.
So
So yeah, even if he jumps that high, he has to jump through the
you have
space.
to jump through a very tiny space up a height that you.
I have a
There was
5 bonus to my climb.
There is
there was a table upstairs that could we potentially move the table down and act as like a little ramp for him to.
Right, I can just do parkour.
that was a
Is it even possible?
it was a stone. It was another similar sized stone sarcophagus. It's not going to fit down that small. It's about a 4
Should be the
4
first barrel. This one.
There
Also, it's like a
There does look to be, there's one tiny, what looks like ale barrel that Moki had dumped on the side. There looks to be a wooden bench tabletop. Still doesn't look like it would fit down that tiny wedge hole. You could carve it down, like literally chop off the bottom layers of what looks like some sort of like cupboard space, long wooden frame of that could be molded maybe into a ramp. This is all going to take time, and you definitely can't leave that hole alone.
Our buffers somehow managed to go
Well,
stuff.
there's you're the one who got yourself down there, so
Yeah, I'll climb onto the hole.
I'll climb on as well.
I'm out. You move around. Rock is the only person who actually struggles to move around Loki in the tiny space.
I can just lift Grok out there. There you go, Grok.
That's true.
How
I mean,
many
old-fashioned
feet is
something
the hole?
8 feet deep.
I just
peeking out.
reach up and
You're
touch the ledge.
you have to pull
Hold
your
the ledge. It's 6 inches tall.
So you're peeking out. So when you get on for your body,
Yeah.
your horse hooves would be just dropping
Okay,
against
just
backstone.
pull up.
There's nothing to pull up on. You could do this,
Yes.
but even that is you have one arm that's functional
Oh,
enough to pull.
Yeah,
your
Monkey,
body.
let's just we'll grab some stuff.
bunch of pews, bunch of small wooden slates. You can
Right.
try to destroy the.
While you're doing that, I'll spend the time repairing the cart.
or maybe the engineer helps engineer something to get our friend out of the hole. How about that?
Maybe,
It's going to take 2 hours to build this cart.
Just drop one of those trees down.
maybe
Why
we'll
don't we just get a log and put it there?
rope around something extra, pulling myself up.
Yeah, we don't have rope.
We didn't grab the rope down.
And that worked pretty well.
Let's search the town. Maybe.
Yes. Okay.
I'll just chain is actually for that.
You take 20 minutes and
We should be. I'll come with it. We should
you
be able to
find-
this time.
I'm not gonna. You don't find chain. You find about 3 different styles of a rope that is more meant for a village. In just like they're all the simplest type of rope, but they can be bound together to make something tighter. If you're looking for chain,
I was looking for anything that could make a pulley.
3 ropes
Yeah.
together would be enough to lift
I think there would be a small amount of chain on the cart that was broken down that might have some.
Can you twine this?
Yeah, I can twine.
Moki can actually still help, but you just can't do it alone. It's more
Can we make some sort of building system? Or just, I don't know, use like weight?
I'm trying.
I think we could just tie it around his body and then all pull at the same time. He should be fine. He can get himself
Okay,
out
so
halfway.
you have a -2. This is an escape artist check.
How is like the
Really?
Yeah, because you're just trying to get yourself out.
How is the
There is no space.
Is it like a
skilled arts?
downwards or is it just a straight like
Triangling. I can't do it.
10 feet?
Yeah, so you can't get it.
Yeah.
Higher than 10.
Yes, the DC would be 20 for Moki.
Wait,
Actually,
I believe Unchained means the minimum DC can be is 10.
Realistically, acrobatics would work, but you're still using the remaining amount of muscle. Sorry, Brock, what were you?
How does the
I can use arm training.
Because that depends. Because it's a horse body. He has to.
I think I can.
It's
That is-
only an opening really big enough for humans to fit through. Moki fell into it.
Yeah.
That's the only way he could actually get down.
I can actually roll it.
You have a -2 from
I have a +2 for my deck, so it's just neutral.
being in that one.
We're helping, so.
Like, what I'm trying to say is, like, he needs to get his legs up to the top so he can pull the drag the rest because he needs to be in a.
Yeah, so the grid in total is about 3 feet wide, about 4 feet wide, and that is because there's still the edge of a sarcophagus that is only being pushed back. Like you could try to rip out the entire sarcophagus, and that might leave a little bit more space. But at the most you're getting is a 5 foot wide hole, and Moki's body is 5 feet wide, basically.
Yeah, let's try to move his sarcophagus. It's in the way.
Right.
What's that?
Alright, 3, 2, 1, lift.
There you go.
All lifting together.
Sir.
So the 2 strong boys do this. Taking
I help.
Elyon just pushes Grox back.
Yeah.
You help in an actual way, sure.
Thank you.
You help steer us. So
I need the validation, alright?
I think I can do a running high jump, and I have bonuses.
Yeah, you can't.
The problem isn't you getting that
there's-
high. You can leap easily.
There's a
It's just-
5 foot width. There's 3.5 foot space. You can't.
It's a very small hole.
Yeah, you have to basically go full vertical.
By
to
the way,
pull
you
yourself
get a
up.
bonus to your acrobatics for jumping because you have faster movement speed.
Yeah,
You have like a bunch of
I have
bonuses.
something like
Momentum is a thing. Who the fuck? Oh my god.
As you have been taking this time, I want the 3 of you to make me perception checks.
Can't one. Never mind. This is
cursed.
cursed.
Down here at the catacombs.
Is the long tunnel at this point? No.
I can't see shit.
26.
26.
Yeah.
Sweet.
9,
24. Yeah. Up here, you gauge the distance better. Though you're surprised that a similar sounding, repetitive echoing of footsteps of something of like a 1-ton creature is still audible 200 feet above the surface.
Oh god. I've been cursed.
is that
I can always hear
You
them.
both hear it
is it in like behind them?
south in the direction you came from, the direction of Krula, and it is not far away, but you're just hearing this very, very faint.
Okay, we'll move. Or high.
It's hard in the tomb.
That's what you were hearing, but like echoing and much more muffled.
Let's go back into the tomb. Okay, move back.
I'm gonna go see what it is.
You're on a cliffside, so you've got a pretty good eye view.
I'll be sneaky.
It needs to break space into the plains for you to see
If it's
it.
big, I'll see it far before it sees me. Also, I gotta move the horses inside. The horse.
You can move the horses up the stairs.
I will go outside and I will. I'll try to, get a little bit of advantage to try to look out and see if I can see any large thing moving.
This is at that point where you're hearing those footsteps decently loud at this point. You guys get enough ramping where you're basically needing to build little stepping points for Moki's hind legs to help push and actually get a bit more elevation.
Right, that we go. I'll just hide around, sort of like basically
Like, yeah,
horse torso.
Also,
Beneath your
It's your front legs.
yes.
So he's standing you up vertically.
Give him a little
Uh,
harness.
Make sure I don't flip over by pulling walls.
I want you. Okay, so this is going to be a bit of a skill check. Your DC is going to be your two DCs. You're the ones who are actually helping. Your DCs are going to be 13. I need both of you to make 2 separate rolls indicating the amount of help you apply to this. So you're kind of doing a bit more strength-based. You're doing more tinkering. If you want to say you're actually building supports, you do that. And then Moki, if these guys both succeed, Moki, you get to add a +10 to your roll. If one of them succeeds, you get to add a +5 to your roll, and then you make an acrobatics check with a DC of 20. So if they both succeed, +10.
So I'm just on your straight strength.
There's no athletics, is there? And yeah.
So is that an engineering
Yeah,
roll?
because lifting things, you don't apply skills to it.
Well,
Unless
even
you're,
though I
like,
rolled
doing it
shit, I
professionally.
got a 14.
14, okay. Still succeeds.
That's a 10, so +3.
+3, so okay.
God, you're so strong.
That's wrong. Wrong. All the way wrong. +3. +10.
You didn't listen to what I was saying. This is what happens when
Just remember, you
Come
still have luck points that we have not used.
I have 5 luck points. I'm going to use all of them.
Wow! You forgot.
and you still didn't listen.
Still get your escape bonus plus as well.
If I've already...
Is it still the -2?
No, it's not. This is an acrobatics now.
Oh, thank God.
And I did say the DC was 20.
Thank Allah.
I don't have to use... I don't have a point. I just hit 20. It's a +10 from them, and I have +6 to my acrobatics, and I rolled a 4.
Okay, so just a 20.
Just a 20.
There you go. Actually, pay attention.
I refuse.
You rip a lot of what feels like tendons, but Moki, what for you feels like, you're just like extending the limbs more than you normally do by yourself.
That's fine.
So a bit of like
Just
an extra
stretch
muscle
them out.
stretch, you know? It's a bit uncomfortable in places, but your body lifts and your back legs push, even though they find nearly nothing. The 2 little indents where Grok has like basically nailed wood into the back of the cabin. You get your body up.
Okay, do me a favor. Don't speak for the next 20 minutes. But we need to find...
Literally is bigger than it was before.
You're like bloated or physically
I mean bloated, but bloated more than it should have ever been bloated for.
We're going to head to higher ground. There's something coming from the woods.
It was 3 feet. My brain was double the width, which is 1 foot.
Meliorn, do you think it's the beast?
I'm on top of the church.
Wow.
For double church. Beautiful.
Probably.
See,
Is there anything on top of the chest that I could like crouch next to?
it is like a thing. So yeah, one.
So yeah, I'm looking south.
There's a bunch of breaks in the roof where, since it was said, something broke through the roof, so there was chunks of roof missing. There's one central part.
Let's try to make a simple barricade and then
24 still.
Just wait maybe a second just for Meliorn to relay some information. Whether or not it's coming here or that version.
at least let's give ourselves some cover if they have any.
How tall is the church?
It's still the wall next to that.
The temple is
So that's
about
the room for
in
guys to
total
get in.
20 feet tall. It's a massive mausoleum temple.
You guys get from 15 feet above you through the hole. I can't see anything yet.
Until you do.
Until I do, which is right now.
It is long-limbed, lumbering with what looks like half a tree hanging from one of its arms. Humanoid from this distance. Carrying what looks like a tree, not a huge tree, like a third of a big tree size. Just dragging it. From this distance,
Giant
it is-
approaching.
it is a troll size.
Small giant.
It's not engaged. What?
It looks similar to one of the ones I saw in my dream. Last dream. Or different type.
It's still too distant to get that good view. The hair looks to be hair, even though it's kind of hard to see. There is a disproportion to its body. Half looks super elongated and half does not.
Meliorn, are they heading into the town?
In this
I only see
direction,
one.
down the center of the valley towards your singular central. There is the valley all around you, but what you are on is this one small cliff in the center of this sunken valley. It's heading.
Yes.
They have back in the basement.
No, it's not. I think if we're just hiding here, be quiet unless it comes directly to the temple. It's just walking. Giants are fast. I can run as fast as you probably. Is it large or huge?
Large. So from your distance, he looks kind of like humanoid still. Is that small still on the end distance?
stay here, be quiet. I'm gonna move Viper. Disappear.
His features are disproportionate. Like, he almost looks like he's got a human-sized head, but his limbs look enormous.
How far away from here?
About a mile.
Okay.
Just over a K. And from your elevation, that is, he's tracking kind of upwards over the raise to where your shelter is.
I'm gonna move quickly. So just under my normal full speed, I will back down off the top of the temple, and I will, keeping something in between me and him directly eyeline, I'm going to try to move around to the front and grab Viper.
Point he begins to kind of get spooked. It's that distant.
Shut up. It's okay. Calm down. It's okay. It's just a giant. You're the same size as him. What are you complaining about?
Do you push him up?
I will just move him to. How far away is the forest line from where we are?
But not much of a
on the
forest
opposite
line.
direction.
It's all just pressed to this kind of like hill. There's a small amount of forest on this hill, and then still surrounding that is basically just valley until you get to the edge of those mountain ranges that are further away. They have forests. Small amount of cover. Small.
I'm just going to take him into a more wooded area.
Okay.
So at this point, I'll drag him away, and then I'll mount him. And actually,
Are you gonna you can press him to the edge of the temple on the opposite side, which gives him some cover, and
yeah. But if it moves past, I'm just going to panic. So I will move away.
I guess you move about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Around the corner of the cliff. You begin to see different things, different sets of footprints. Beginning to move into a bit more of a wilderness-based area where the section of buildings clumped is now still further away from where you are in proximity to the temple.
I will, move 2 minutes away until I get to a place where I'm satisfied that we're unlikely, and then I will begin unsettling him. So taking all the shit off of him.
The sound doesn't seem to be approaching with an enormous amount of speed like you'd expect a centaur to have. Might be slower than Moki, but that also could be because this thing's been running for a while. By the time you make it back, you see, and Cornell sees, even though you're investigating, I'm guessing you're using the big slab in the center of the mausoleum to just put everything on where the satchel was originally?
Oh, no.
Okay, you're just on the floor?
Right now, unless we were barricading, I'm probably just trying to move stuff quietly in front of the wall.
Okay, yeah. Barricading. Still cool. Both door hinges were appear to be one blown off, but you can just push it back against it.
It's most noise I never
We're making enough room for someone medium-sized to roll for, because we assume that it's a large creature.
Okay, there's blown out walls, holes in the wall. So, your best coverage is literally like the corners of the mausoleum. Enough, Melior.
So I'm gonna leave his bit and bridle, so the head bit, and just tie him to a tree. And I'll open up my case, and I'll pull out my little satchel with my poisonous kit in it, and I will have that with me, but then I'll just leave everything else there. Okay. And I'll stealth forest run, so shitty stealth, but run back in.
You see similar circular-ish holes, but just carved, but like broken out of stone. Holes that seem to just lead into the mountain, into the single cliff that this mausoleum is on. You notice
Naturally formed or mined?
the more you look at it, the more you begin to see scrape marks, not necessarily scratching, but not a shovel either. Something ripped into this hole. It maybe looks a bit wider because potentially a predator has tried to carve into the hole looking for something smaller. You're not sure. These are. You're beginning to realize that these mountains are more infested than this single cliff face is more infested than you thought.
How many you get that? Oh well.
You make it back with your poisonous stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How far do you get back into the mausoleum?
Yeah.
Okay.
Forest and hill.
So start heading that way.
I mean, I want to loot this town, but if this thing's gonna stay here, then yeah, we should probably move there.
I wanted to finish construction and then call so we could just run more we'll set around.
Just give it 30 minutes. If it stops here, then we should probably leave.
Alright.
That begins to start to distant. It almost sounds like detonations in the earth. These sounds very, very slowly begin to start to vibrate in the surrounding areas. The rock around your feet begins to slowly shake, slowly tremble. The things you are holding still begin to wobble. But you notice that this thing looked like it was going straight past and angles slightly different. Not going towards the temple, the mausoleum that you were in the cliffs at, but towards the town. The town being 200 feet away from you, down the cliff, down the valley, the slope.
I'll just take up my position on the roof where I was, and I'll just watch it.
Only from the elevation you're at do you notice this one while everyone else is looking at the thing. This is south. That's north. You see, you are up here with that building. Big, dangerous creature. Run into the town. Melior, that isn't the thing that was making noise.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
You see scuttling across the side of the building some looking monster. And these guys, like a Texas standoff, meet in the middle. Now that he's 200 feet away, yes. His body is covered in cuts and bruises. He has probably been running for 18 hours. The time you guys spent sleeping, he was probably moving behind you. As he arrives in this town, it stops. What he sees in front of him is a large bone cleaver weapon held by a monstrous form, a scorpion with a humanoid body, upper body, a long brown tail, barbed. And as these two look at each other, the big, taller, but not wider, troll-ish form seems much more exhausted than its counterpart.
The giant thing was the monster in the town that they were trying to hang. He has now found some sort of insect, scorpion, abomination in town, and I think he's about to be killed.
Which, in Orcish, is exactly like the sound you heard below. You hear Orcish? Yeah, 200 feet away.
200 feet is pretty
You
far.
hear it is pretty far. The wind carries it so that you can hear it, but it's not great volume. It is Orcish for intruded.
It's the thing that was in the tunnel, the insect thing. But
If they find, do you want to go scavenge them? They're already half dead. Or do you think we should leave it?
the insect's gonna slaughter him.
That's why I'm asking if we should take advantage of it when one of them kills each other. Alright. It's a shame losing the cart though, but alright.
Yeah, your cart would be basically where this mini is. So, right at the bottom of the stairs, 100 feet away, 200 feet from where you are to it.
Or just sit here and like President sees me. The whole
I'll have to wait and see.
no, like this person.
Alright.
I think they're gonna fight.
Are you gonna roll for initiative and watch them fight?
That is when you hear the roar and a battle begins. And that's where we will have a break. We return to Grok. Make me a knowledge check. Just a knowledge check.
You need a knowledge, you need to be
history.
specific.
I have history, geography, engineering, or arcana.
Let's go.
This is for a type of creature. They have outlines for it.
Yeah.
Each different knowledge applies to a different creature type.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm going to say.
But all knowledge skills are class skills, so that means I get just the base benefit? Or
No, you're just.
If you haven't got a rank in them, you don't. If you're untrained.
Yeah, this is not. Yeah, this.
fair. Untrained reward.
So that means you're not helping.
Fuck! I just deleted it. Fuck.
This counts as history.
Oh, there it is. Oh, good. History is a thing. You know,
So the creature types.
that's weird. Okay. Yeah,
You can do whatever you want in it. Just guidelines.
For which one? Creature type.
I don't know what type of creature it is, but yeah, this is the.
Well,
That's it.
There.
this is not a natural creature. So for Grok to understand that it speaks Orcish is an interesting and curious connected part of your language to, or a version of the language you understand. One you were taught to understand, because it was told that it was a lot like those who look like you. This thing doesn't have, there aren't yellow orcs, and its face is a tanned yellow, while its chest is very vibrant yellow. The scuttlebug monster
I'm ready.
begins to approach slowly,
I can do 2d6.
stepping over the large log that this thing threw down, begins to wipe a large extended polearm across one of its bladed shoulders. This insectoid kind of moves more into focus towards you between a few of the buildings.
It's got a cool weapon.
It was definitely horizontal, shifting back into a ground-based position. But you hear, "Hi there," and in Orcish, the dying trumpet's hollow tone shall rend each tomb's forgotten stone. And you see this big-ass monster just roar at it. Sound that echoes, and you see this thing coil up tensively before taking a few inches of a step back. This thing runs forward, dies immediately.
Gets stung and is there paralyzed for 6 weeks.
Gotcha.
And then gets eaten. This thing lays eggs inside this guy's body and he slowly gets eaten.
Yeah.
I can't see anymore now.
And you can't see him, but you see what looks like a spray of wood as a massive claw rips part of the building and sprays it in this direction. These two creatures can't just... You begin to hear...
He's not wrong.
The echoing growl of a creature that, at least that sounds like you heard its very vibrant roar back in town. This sounds like an exhausted, trying to scare tone, but without the kind of energy in its body to do so from it. But you notice the moment it kind of clears and you can see the edge of this monster, there is now a massive barbed scorpion tail embedded into the shoulder, with which looks to be the most bloody. That scorpion tail basically pushes this thing back to the point this thing now stumbles away from...
You got blankets.
It's not warm enough. I was freezing last night.
It was very cold.
Other horses are nice and warm. The waiting time was going to freeze. That's why we should get some.
You should wear that goddamn hat so that you can wear a fluffy coat.
I could die to the cold later.
And you watch those creatures disappear as they break through the roof and fall into the building that they were both on. A small amount of dust or things. The walls of that building blow open as wood scatters near where the cart that you just were, like the wood flies that far. Blown out, these guys begin to basically battle through the building.
He's doing a lot better than I thought he would. I don't think he's damaged at all, though.
Swinging wildly, trying to make attacks in an offhanded sort of way, but
Dropped his weapon like an idiot.
notice that back here, a place I want to put it. And as they break distance, he begins to run towards, and where you see there is a well. It looks not like a well you saw in town filled with blood. There's a good chance it is filled with blood. This well is older and smaller and tinier, yet you see this giant hand just plunge its giant arm down the well. It looks like he just waits there.
Guys, they are flat. They're gonna reach this place sooner or later if they keep at it.
Push it to free.
Yeah, about town. It ain't worth it.
There's nothing in this town. Oh, that's it. Grok, we will leave.
You can try investigate.
Evacuating from what?
No, it's not all of us. If you stay here, you will be discovered and die.
Right now, if you move towards the cart, you're in perfect eye view of the monsters. The only way to leave right now, because you're at the top of a temple, is to climb on top of the temple and try to scale up the mountain. Because right now, if you look down the stairs towards the cart,
But that's side of the temple.
open cliffscape where still visible to this thing. You are basically stuck unless you are intended to be seen.
We should probably leave.
You see this thing rips its hand out of the well, through the well, ripping up stone and earth, and starts to fight. Well, I'll do a sense motive roll for me.
19.
It's rejuvenated.
Oh, wait, never mind.
It's stuck its hand in a well, and it's coming out with a hand that looks to be less bloody,
Which direction?
maybe double the size. Like somehow it soaked in the water
Just western.
and grew a larger, monstrous hand. It begins to rip away at chitinous armor, ripping pieces of it off. What looks to be the central sternum chest of this insectoid bug, you see a even larger hand of this troll monster than you saw before, reaches into the center of the chest of this bug and rips out something that you see holes, tubes, internal body organs, ripping it out. This monster begins to jab, pierce a scorpion tail onto the shoulders of this monster that has just gutted it. It looked like a one-sided fight. He went to the well. Now he's not flinching when he's getting barbs stabbed into him.
From the temple, what's the closest tree line? Forest.
There is no forest. Never. There has been a clumping of loose.
Direction would be the closest tree.
Where you are is the most forested area around a cliff face. Outside of this 200-foot section of semi-forested town, open plains again.
Okay.
You could go around the other side of the cliff. So
So it's a
If
forest.
there is the cliff. No, forest. No, it goes. The forest seems to not a forest. Never a forest. It is just small grouping of trees around a cliff face, and those trees are sporadic and not covering a great deal. They go around both sides of the cliff. The side Melior went on, if your temple is here, cliff goes around this way and around this way. Right now, it's still very, very visible. Even if you hug the wall, you would have to just try and make sound and hope you're not spotted. Or go back in.
Okay, this thing can. This thing heals with
You
water.
could scale the mountain and get above any elevation.
See us if we scale them out?
There's enough foliage that if you started to go upwards, no, that would cover it from above, but not from side on. You know what I mean? Just from above.
If I was to lead them to Vibro, which direction will we go?
You said left of the temple. And there is like an alcove where the horse can hide and not be seen. But if the horse moves, it will go, out more into open.
Alright, I'm gonna lead you to Vibro. Come on, let's go.
This way, actually seeing should be the human thing. The bug won't catch us this way. Happens.
I think the bug's gonna lose.
What's that?
So you exit the hole in the wall.
Yeah. I climbed down off the side.
Moki's going to have to jump and risk it. The side on the right, the side that Cornell actually climbed up on, is probably the easiest to climb. Your side is more of a sheer drop, but not sheer, maybe 20 feet drop. Climbable, but for a horse guy, he's dropping 20 feet.
You drop 20 feet and live. You break your leg, we're going to have to put you down. Sorry, Jim.
Dropped 8 feet into the hole with a pretty rough fall.
Oh.
Fall,
So barely hurt you at all.
I don't know quite. Sure. I could try, but it will not be quiet.
It's a relatively
There's not enough cover. They're going to see us anyway, bro.
craggy cliff side.
They're distracted with each other. We need to go now.
Where were what?
Okay. Yeah.
I'm first, me?
Yes.
Okay.
You're going to jump through the hole in the wall, down about 20 feet to the space where there's a clear...
I'll do that. I'll jump through the thing and fall. It's definitely going to be acrobatic. Acrobatics is jumping.
Yep.
Oh, where you starting?
Yep.
Where you Please don't move.
This
What flying? What are you talking about?
Okay, so falling. If I
Flying is for flying. What is it? I don't
I'm
understand
assuming
this
I can
fucking.
just jump, it's no problem. Like jump out of the building, no problem.
Absolutely.
Okay, for this falling, if I do a DC 15 athletics check, I can ignore the first 10 feet of fall.
I was going to say, yeah,
pretty
DC was 15.
Yeah,
so that was
so-
perfect. Cool.
If I succeed, I only fall 10. I only do 10 feet damage.
Which is
feet.
I don't believe you take 10 feet of damage.
Let me check. Let's have a look. No, I take all of damage. I take.
Well, what is it?
It's 1d6.
What's your
per
total
10.
total?
My total
Plus
it
6?
was a 9.
9 total, so less than 10.
Just give 3 and 3.
I'll give you 2.
I'll give 3. Croc, give 1.
Or Monkey use 1.
Give 1.
I refuse to touch that mechanic.
Okay.
Rip.
4.
I have 5, so I can give
You
myself.
can give you 1.
Oh, I can only.
Just 1 to make the.
I beat it. And
Beat it to death.
So you've used now 5.
I refuse to use freebies.
yes.
He's just like, this is a weakness.
So take off 6 more points for the group. And you, with the small amount of direction that Cornell and Melion give you, you see just away from where you're jumping, like 10 feet away, there is another little cliff drop, and that cliff drop leads to. How many of you look back?
I'm watching them as we're
Mark
moving.
is only watching. He hasn't moved yet. He'll be the last one to
Okay.
drop down.
God damn it, Grok.
So you see that the barbed tail is continually piercing into the back of the monster, which looked, the troll-like monster looked like it was affecting him more before. Now he seems to be shrugging off these continual piercing attacks. Begins to push the monster back through a building, opening going through the part of the building that was already there. This guy just begins to push back through, breaking back through this part of the building. You're not sure if he saw you. You're not sure if the other one did. The other one was not even facing your direction, so you're sure that the orc-speaking one did not see you. Right.
Just go.
Grok, seeing as this is a chance, sees the party doing that gun. I'm gonna regret this. Grok will quickly run down the hill to grab the broken cart.
Okay, I'm using my standard action to use expeditious retreat, so my movement speed increases by 30.
Awesome.
2 minutes, and I'm just running full speed out.
I'll follow.
It's
I can match that.
it's a rocky cliff. I'm just gonna say
Are you doing like running full action run?
Yeah.
I can match that. I have times 5.
okay. You run down the stairs. You run towards the. I don't believe you ever spent the time. Did
No,
you
I
spend
didn't
the
think so.
time?
I didn't think
You didn't
so.
think so. Okay. So one wheel was broken off. That whole bottom bar is now tilted down, and you would literally just be taking the top of the cart off without the wheels at all,
That's fine.
or drag a wheel and a bar along.
Yeah,
basically.
that's right. Basically.
Okay, that's this. Yeah. Okay. Almost harder to carry a broken cart than this
Yes.
carry a real one. Make me a. You're running fast, so you're not stealthing. So I'm not gonna worry about that. Let's just do.
No,
Let's do.
I am.
Let's do a fortitude check. This is an endurance to make sure you don't pop a bone.
Right.
Pop a bone. I realized how. You know what? Weird one, but it works.
21.
There is only a few ridges you have to make that are uncomfortable before dragging this thing and moving at a fast pace is easier to do when you're seeing them run up a higher elevation of the cliff you're beside. You go around the bottom and you curve around. You dodge a few trees scattered. They're not closely packed, so you've got room to move between them. It is more about speed. Speed.
So 30 feet.
Well, you lift it.
This is, I would still say halved, but you're moving with a dash, so 30. You see Grok is towing, running
That's it.
full speed.
Why is everything around me so freakishly strong?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
And just because you didn't stealth, the others notice while this creature is, the insectoid is being pushed back through buildings, things are breaking open and falling, you're hearing crashes and thuds and still that loud stomping sound. You see its upper half holding against the giant, is turning to look in your direction.
Right.
As it is still fighting.
Go.
I'm gone.
Space around.
Peter.
How long does your magic last?
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
We're doing the
Good.
full run action, which is times 4 movement speed.
Yeah. So
Times
you,
that.
in just under a minute, you find Viper the horse.
Oh, so funny.
There is the distant sound of breaking and destruction of wooden structures.
I'm gonna stop. Can I still see them fighting 150 feet away?
Yes. Big enough.
I'll stop there for 30 seconds.
All right. The three of you
Does the hill start to turn around?
bend inwards.
So I'll just keep following that.
Yeah, you hit the where the horse is, and you can just keep following the curve in. Cool.
I'll keep falling for that.
You begin to... Yeah, Cornell, you're probably the only one who can kind of just see that in some of the higher parts of the cliff, some that you're very close to in head height appear to be openings of holes where it looks like something has tried to burrow into a smaller creature's cavern or obviously hunting. Claw marks, talon bird marks, keep going. Is Moki with pace, or are you
I'm technically slightly faster.
slightly faster? Okay, good. So you're
I'm
still
keeping with pace.
you're keeping pace.
Well, 250 keep following.
Running. Oh, you don't do. Yeah. So run to.
Alright.
That's what you have.
I only run 30 feet.
I don't know, I only run 35. I can't get faster.
You watch as this insectoid grabs the two shoulders of the troll and tries to squeeze it. You see blood coming out of the shoulders where this creature is. You see its hands were pushing on its shoulders. The insectoid, which has a lot more legs, still getting pushed back. So not the strongest legs. At that point, hands grip into the shoulders of this thing, seeping blood. It grabs the lower chitinous legs and rips outwards and just rips them off. This creature half falls onto the giant's body because its front legs now are no longer there to support. And this thing, even though it is giant, begins to rip at the central stomach wound that it made before. The other insectoid creature rips at the shoulders, trying to debilitate it from the upper body, while the big troll goes for the mid-body. At this point, it's now looking more and more like a close fight. They're making, at least from this angle, it looks almost lethal. All of these wounds.
Come on, one of you win. Come on. I'm gonna move back towards him.
That's awesome.
You just walk past Brock, across the one.
You see Brock runs past you by that point, and this incessant stabbing of the scorpion tail, it just keeps going. It keeps just drilling wounds into the parts that this creature's going for, until the disgusting scene out of
I'm gonna pull out my bow and shoot the insect in the back of the head.
Okay. Just as you notice that
Stop within
the
120.
remaining sword blade of this guy's actual arm, the humanoid upper body, soars into one of the troll's upper arms and does the rock. Rips everything away until there's only muscle tissue holding it together, in which that arm begins to kind of flop away from how it was goring the stomach before, ripping out entrails, and you hear a distant again, or maybe re-weakened. One is missing an arm,
What's the range of my cantrip?
Level A.
Is it a close or is it a touch? Can I how far can I roll it?
Mage hand.
No, mage hand is close, but is it close range? So is it 30 feet, or do I just make it in front of me?
I mean, how far your spell will get ahead of you.
Yeah. So if I make water, can I make it away from me, or does it have to be next to me?
Yeah. I'm gonna say it's made from you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Maybe in very close proximity. I would actually say it requires almost water to affect water.
Alright. Yeah, I'll just fire one shot. I miss. Yeah, I'll turn around, run away.
Roll me another d20. Instead of giving you a -4, there's just a chance you could either.
Now one.
Okay. Your bowstring crossbow?
Short bow.
Swordbow. Snaps.
How?
The
God damn
thin
it.
twine.
Oh no, I pulled too hard. Oh,
Oh.
damn.
You didn't unstring it. And at that point, you see on the ground the troll is now just crushing the stomach of the centipede, which appears to be on its side and using all of its legs to like spike up at it. It steps 1 foot on the tail, and the tail twitching, then stops moving. Looks like he breaks like the vertebrae there. The creature still clawing up, ripping into what looks to be the stomach of the troll. Rips and rips until what looks like what looks to be a unanimous defeat as the troll body slumps on top of the insectoid body that is now upside down, and the bodies just hug each other.
I'll drop my bone and walk over to him.
Okay. 90 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
Move 30 feet closer, 30 feet away, until you're noticing very obvious features of the creature that was being hung before. In fact, you can see the kind of stretched bruise mark of where rope is strung around its neck. And you can see the massive footprint, which is also similar. This 3-pawed footprint is solidly squished the tail end of this scorpion so much so that the entire rear half of that barbed tail just isn't moving. The body's the insectoid has curled inwards in a dead sort of way, but it is curled in over the body of that troll humanoid into a
I will
hug-like.
go around in front of where his face is, so 10 feet away.
You see the weird, like, almost crown of the insect, and you see its lower jaw, which you actually see interesting-looking ram tusks that come out of the mouth and up. The lower jaw is just missing.
Is it still breathing? The troll?
You see the tongue hangs out of the insectoid, and the troll, which it looks like its whole face, one just still leaking blood on top of the chest. It's very hard to tell. You have to be touching it to really know.
I will
Too much blood, too much.
pull out my water skin, and I'll mutter in Elvish as I drip someone on my hand. Summon the water, and I will walk up to it.
Roll
The sculptor,
magically
still there.
liquid sprays on its face, wiping a lot of blood away, but you can still see many, many facial lacerations.
You were a man once, are you still a man? And I will spray it.
Spray him. Spritz.
You're fleeing from that place. Crueler. I am too. Please don't be evil.
It's a breathing sound that sounds very raspy, and it does appear to be coming from the one still with the jaw, the troll-ish humanoid, but there doesn't seem to be a waking consciousness. Looks like
The hand he touched the water with is the one that got cut off, or the other one?
the hand he touched the water with, yeah.
Got cut off.
The other one actually looks more human, but still has kind of weird shaped claws. His whole body seemed to suddenly spontaneously grow more monstrous just by that whole water event, especially the one hand that was in the water. The well now is broken open and slowly leaks what's left of it.
I'm just going to pull out one of my knives and shove it through the insect's brain.
You
There is
hear
armor.
multiple layers of hard chitinous bone break with forceful pressure and using the ground to your advantage because it is upside down, break through the faceplate, and you hear the final. Maybe the dagger only got through 2-ish inches. You wedge that dagger in pretty hard. And you do pull it out, but there is a kind of amount of thin.
I'll put water on his other hand, just in case it does anything. But if nothing else happens, I'm going to try to...
You splash water on the one remaining hand, and it seems to tense. Very tense. It's just openly tense for maybe 40-ish seconds. You start to see some minor wounds on the face begin to close up.
You better not goddamn kill me.
Do you slowly drip onto this thing?
Yes.
Okay. The rest of the group meets around around the corner of a cliff. Rock is the last one, and you hear the trundling of a broken cart with one wheel.
I feel like Rock would lose breath after a minute of 30-second running with a giant car.
I'll make a you made a fort save of 21. Make another one.
pretty fucking solid.
Make another one.
I got 17.
Okay, you make it almost to the distance to them, but by that point, by the time you stop and you are out of breath, they just hear the cart break down again. Though you don't see them, and you know Meliorn stopped behind you.
Where is my...
You walk all the way to Grog.
He's on the cliff. He can see you basically regardless.
Because
You're
they
just on the
were
ground.
running 240 feet around. Yeah. I was running 30 feet around.
Well, he did just say we eventually met up.
Okay.
You
You're
get to a
probably
point where they-
near Viper. You
where,
probably want a little
where
closer,
they
but then
where
they
they
see you.
hear you, you don't see them, and then Cornell makes himself seen, and he's above you in an elevated part of the cliff.
What? Well, I saw him stop for a bit, but I just kept running because this darn heavy thing. I think he ran to the monsters.
Did they were going to watch them, or?
He didn't say anything. Anyways, you should have stayed there and dealt with them. I don't know why we ran.
Dealt with them. Why would we get in the fight when we don't need to?
That's a first.
Oh my god, he's being wise.
We just,
These aren't humans. I don't.
we just had a conversation about how fighting should be
Fought a few monsters.
How dare you lie to him?
Anyways, Meliorn is over there.
Well,
Ellen is not good at tracking, so if we leave, Ronnie will find us.
I'll head back. I'll head back. Use this time to fix up the damn cart. I'll
Should I go
start
with you?
back.
Okay.
And by fixing it, he means find an extra wheel,
Yeah.
or make it a tricycle. No, a what is it called? The one.
Wheelbarrow.
Wheelbarrow.
Sure. Let's look at those one wheel things.
Yeah,
It's a wheelbarrow.
or unicycle.
That's it. Unicycle. The ones where you actually
It's
have
got
to.
it's got a holding area such as a wheelbarrow. Its purpose is to hold things.
That's very true.
Unlike a unicycle, which is to hold one person.
Sure, work with that.
I know, I
Hey,
was
it's
thinking
called a
about that.
fat monkey or
The other idea I had was a sled.
No. Unless
Was it
there's
really?
snow.
It's not that snowy yet,
No, that's not.
but it'll be useful later.
Useful later.
But it'll just be simpler because I don't have a wheel, so we can just drag it around and sled.
Here to save me from my bad decisions.
Anyways,
Maybe.
You're underestimating how difficult it is to drag something on flat ground. That's not slick like snow.
yeah.
It's not that hard because of how strong you are, but going through the woods, yes.
Yeah, it will also beat up the
Yeah.
shit. It will get destroyed. Especially in a rocket.
It's a lot of wood.
Yeah,
Also,
this-
it needs to be treated avoided.
etc., etc., etc. But if it's made to just be dragged along,
If it's hard,
It's meant to have
not meant to
wheels.
last long, then it's fine.
Yeah, we could just go back and get the wheel now because he's sleeping. Let's go.
Yeah. If
I'm
I
gonna
were
befriend this guy.
running
If you were just pouring water on him, I mean, you notice that.
Yeah, I pour for a little bit, and then I'm guessing I'm gonna try to push him off of the thing, but I'm guessing I'm not strong enough.
Well, there's like
To
he's
disconnect.
kind of like curled itself in like,
Yeah.
reflexively. No, you could probably like slide it
Yeah,
out.
so I'm gonna try to like slice the little
Mm.
tendons in its little arms and try to see if I can get it to release it.
Okay. You do. They break off stiffly. They do break. And by the time you finish cutting, you hear approaching pants, fast-paced steps, and Cornell, you return to see Meliorn on an operating bed made of a giant.
Meliorn, what are you doing?
There's just a pool of semi-dried up liquid around where he is.
He won. I don't think I can save him. I can fix him. You don't understand.
Why are you trying to say?
He was a person a few days ago. And I think I can reason with him. I mean, my main concern was that the insect would win because we definitely couldn't kill that, but it's dead now. So with this guy, I think
Cornell, you can hear the faint.
He seems to be alive.
yeah.
You like my help?
I mean, I don't know if your medicine would work, but it seems like water heals him in a way. He was a person in Cooler called Sculptor. Apparently people didn't like him, but he went into the Church of the Righteous Flame and turned into this. Or he disappeared for a while and came out like this. And then the whole town tried to lynch him.
went into the church.
He disappeared. I don't know. It's just rumors, but he disappeared a while ago, a few days, I think. And I guess he appeared. Does his other hand have 5 fingers or 4?
5. The big one definitely had an unnatural claw hand. Yeah, the hand you actually notice when it's like when you were filling it with water, it was just weirdly like open palm tensing. But you notice that stiffness just kind of started to go away even after you like water for a while looked like it was making the body more tense, and then as long as you have kept applying it, it seems to have actually calmed that tension down. But you notice that you are the more you wet him, something slips out from what looks to be ripped, now heavily stretched ripped pants. And you see it is broken by the water. Single piece of paper ripped in half, what looks to be the water kind of mangling it a little bit, twisting it up. And it just kind of like drifts to the side where the grass is, where the edge of the water stops. This little puddle you've made around this creature. And
Just pick it up to get up.
you see its giant hand that moves to it and tries to stop, like to smash the hand up. You just grab it. Wet piece of paper. Big stone hand. Big hand. It is abnormally long, but it is human's toned skin. The color is all normal, unlike the other one, which is more green and brown.
Is his other arm hemorrhaging blood, or has it closed up?
Definitely.
Can you try to seal it up? No, it was on Viper.
Okay, I'm gonna run into one of these houses and try and find that lion.
Yeah.
Just pull his pants off.
Small.
Okay.
There is not a tapestry, but a bed fabric around that type of. You pull it. It's half stitched, so it's a different type of. It's like woolen. So
Any spare either metal bars or wood bars that seem relatively big.
yeah. On some of these houses, you can see some metal bars at angles that look to be rusted a bit, but thick.
I'll try and make a tourniquet for his arm.
Okay.
I'm gonna go back to the well and see if I can get any water out of it.
To get any more.
Get a water.
See.
Bleeding.
It would make you do a roll, but let's just say you take the time to wrap it up enough that fabric heavily soaks the blood.
Insert this stick and start to twist it.
Okay. There's definitely some like body reaction, but you see Melion by the time you get back, and it all has just started to tighten, and within seconds, a somewhat functional tourniquet made to stop a arm that has. I mean, there was little bits of like still stringy muscle and stuff hanging off of it, and the arm that is only 5 feet away.
It's not clean the rest of this. Yeah.
Thank you.
What are you trying to get at?
I don't know. I just want him to live. Answers is good, but
You think you know anything about what's in Simmer's side?
I don't know. But we don't have enough information for any of this. Just
What's the paper?
some map. Probably gonna use it to run north somewhere. It's just trying to escape, but I mean.
I'll be back and get the rest.
What happened to you in the temple?
I don't know.
That's a sense of motive. 9.
I told you I woke up. I went to sleep a month ago and woke up. At least that time.
What were you feeling? You started to turn whatever other half.
I mean, he had 5 claws. This thing definitely doesn't, so it's different.
Where I'm from, it's an infection, but most of
I was like that.
normally it only lasts 2 days. Turn fully or die. It's been a while. I'm not too sure.
Are you gonna go and get him? Okay. Well, hopefully I'll still be alive when you get back. Cornell, sorry for freaking out like that. I didn't mean.
It's not my first time.
Yeah, but you don't deserve it.
Look, if I were you, I would have been the same. I probably would have ended me.
Yeah, no, we're not in the same position. You have a few hundred years to catch up.
I'm trying to get it fixed. I don't know where to go.
Yeah.
And then I'll run off.
And what do you do around the body.
I'll just keep feeding him water.
Okay.
I'll actually put some in his mouth.
Yeah.
And if he starts drowning,
I mean, obviously, you see, like, instantly goes a kind of...
no! Oh god, I've done it! Shit!
But it does look to be him spitting out a lot of extra
Wait a
blood
minute.
that was just in
This
the
guy's free XP.
As you pour water into his mouth, you don't hear gulping. That's the weird part.
Do I hear chirking?
Oh, in fact,
Does he react favorably?
the water that misses his face also does something weird. It seems to just sink into his skin, like a reverse sweat, very, very quickly.
Is water absorption a thing I might have heard of before?
Yes.
I can...
Being an elf,
Yeah.
being the magic that you currently possess, the idea of it being in kind of the reverse order of how you create it, very, very possible. But,
Maybe absorption to heal in this sort of similar way.
I
I have half of the knowledge. I now can make checks.
would say, it's geography.
I have that.
Yeah, you make a roll then.
9.
Right. You can guess that this guy is becoming a giant, or was always a giant. But there's something
I mean, he was 7 foot tall. So
about him that still seems
they're different before as well.
still too human to be
Yeah.
fully giant. Like, this guy should be a medium-sized creature. He's not.
I mean, he has like lizard skin, right?
He has scales.
Yeah.
More like a armor plating scales, like in almost impressively thick scaling, which you have noticed on that arm that is now cut off, the one that was the most defendable, was far more scale than it was before. Before you saw almost like a reptilian sheen, now it almost looks kind of like a dragon scale.
God, he's evolving.
Rick, get out of the water. What you do to the face soaks you, and you start to see the hand that was flat out, almost crushing the paper you grabbed. It seems to, like the edge of a dream, it tenses weirdly, relaxes, and then slowly begins to drag at the ground next to where he's laying, next to where you are.
I will.
And then
Photographic memory absorbed. I'll crunch it back up.
put it into
Put it
the
in his hand.
You
It's a comfort item. No, I deal with traumatized people.
perfectly just slot it in as he pulls, and then he seems to grip that page in his still bigger than human hand. Exhales, and you even get a little bit of like blood spittle.
I will sit in the puddle next to his head. Stroke his hair.
You see he strokes. And the head slowly leaves, and that long black hair behind you, you can basically keep stroking it for a few moments until he sits up and dwarfs you. Even, he's nearly 6 feet tall sitting, looks lethargic.
Hello.
It's to you,
My name is Meliorn.
eyes that look behind you to see you look.
Are you still the sculptor? I don't have any of my weapons visible. My knives are concealed.
You see his voice is gone, maybe because he's roaring so much.
Mm.
Oh dear,
Hold him. Hold him.
oh dear.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Doesn't matter if I beg for help. They saw me as a monster.
It's not entirely their fault.
You see his body just falls back down.
Well, stand over like a child, kneel next to his head, and I will touch his head again. I'll say, don't worry, I'll help you.
It's not safe.
It's not safe down there either.
The hounds of the king hunt. They chase.
You can catch your breath. But you're safe here for now.
Dangerous, tough, and ruined.
Just rest.
Make a diplomacy roll for me. DC 10.
Kills. Above 10.
Good.
It should be like really
15.
The eye eyes seem to like almost roll back in his head, blinking, refocusing.
I'll bring you more water.
He's back forth, and then you see tries to lift its back up, and then gets maybe a foot off the ground before falling back. Doesn't even sit up.
It's okay.
And then falls unconscious. But at this point, you're noticing that even in its weakened state, it wants to keep.
It wants to keep moving. But you can't!
Let's cut its legs off.
I don't have a big enough knife, but when you get back...
My knife is pretty good.
Well, that thing has a big-ass sword attached to its arm, so you can get your big-ass sword back. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Shut the fuck up. You can do it. It's not hard. You can do it.
It's food supply. We just need to have water.
Stop with the blackened regeneration infinite food glitch. It's not true.
As this guy infinitely regenerates.
Yeah, what the hell?
We need to do a fire burst.
You need to take him to the ocean so he can... I'll just cradle his head.
By time this long, very greasy, stained black hair.
He's disgusting. I want to die.
Yeah, it's even a bit lumpy.
I've got blood on my face. I want to die.
But you slowly hear. By time Cornell gets back to the group, Grok, make me. If you're not moving back to where the wheel is and you're trying to make a makeshift something,
No, Grog is not.
you're not. You just ignore ignore the instructions and wait.
It's because it
Jump
would
down the tree and make
But
a wheel.
Grok would be looking at it and just thinking of ways to make this work so it doesn't damage the carcass of his little dragon.
Yeah. There's ways of cutting
Sir.
a thin stump.
His goal right now is to just have a basic wooden chunk that can be dragged along the floor so it just won't
Please don't
destroy the cart.
Yeah,
Please
okay. Adding some extra base to it. It's only got one
Because he
base
knows
layer of
that-
wood.
So basically it's making a dragging piece of wood.
Oh, yeah, like an extra slate piece to go on. Yeah, okay. That is not easy and doesn't happen quick.
Yeah.
But
It's been 5 minutes.
so 5 minutes. So by time you're good. Do you want to work off a tree?
Yes, he would be.
I would say if you
Get
want
your great axe out, boy.
when you're looking to basically make a sheet of wood, I wouldn't say you're cutting down a tree. I'd say you're cutting slices off a tree. That sort of way.
Yeah.
So make me.
Bro, would you like me to?
I'm going to say this is actually just the gathering part. Make me a strength check.
Wood carving proficiency?
That would be that too.
You should get it.
That'd be crafts.
That'd be crafting.
Yeah, craft and woodwork and stuff. Or carpentry.
This point, you're still just gathering it from the crafting.
Yeah, craftsman also do it. Yeah.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Crafting, yeah.
I don't have a craft table on mine. It's player-based.
20 things.
Yeah.
If I design it like a shield, I get a plus 10 to it. So I guess, yes. I once crafted
Okay,
weapon
great.
and once crafted blacksmith.
Well, so with a plus
Just like when you level.
with a plus 10, what's your modifier?
Plus 10.
With a plus 10,
Plus 20.
plus 20.
Are you getting another plus 10?
Plus 20 to cut down a tree.
Overall modifier
Is plus 10.
Yeah. Overall modifier is plus 10. Okay, yeah, good. DC is 15.
26. Thanks for telling us DCs for everything.
Great sword, carving down. You are cheese grating with the side of one tree. Great axe, sorry.
Definitely
Well,
better.
still awkward, but not.
Probably better. Great also not meant to cut trees.
Just taking.
Okay. So by this point, there is a single sheet of tree that is nearly fully carved off by time Cornell gets back. Cornell, you're seeing the edge of what Grok has been doing, which is peeling off a 1 inch thick layer of tree.
Let's go. He's back in town. Big feller seems to be on our side or something.
That's good.
Alright, I'm just gonna finish off this, and then I'll patch up that wheel.
Stay with him.
Okay.
How heavy is the cog?
I'd say
You can lift it, you can easily lift it.
probably 100 pounds.
Damn. That's a light ass cog.
That's 50 kilos. No, you're right.
Like, we could lift 50 kilos.
Yeah, we could lift that.
Anything we can lift in real life? No.
Sure. Yeah, no.
Really?
No.
Okay.
You can drag it, but
How about as heavy as a table?
I feel like it would be 150.
This table is pretty fucking...
Yeah.
Would it be like 150?
I'm going to say 200 pounds.
The weight is arbitrary because both of you can lift it anyway, it doesn't matter.
I'll just lift it over my head and bring it.
It's It's gonna be way more when it's fixed anyway. So
We'll meet you on cattle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can just pick it up.
I'm not sleeping. I can't look at it. God damn it. I'll go finish the sheet of wood.
Yeah.
30 minutes later.
You make your way back. And 2 minutes go by, and Cornell arrives first.
They're on their way. God's just gotta finish off his sled.
Thank you. There's fiber next to them. Can you make sure they have fibers and stuff? My stuff is. There's no way to know though. It's okay. I can get it later, unless he's dying.
I'm not making another one back.
Okay, fine. He's fine. We had a little conversation. He's not evil.
Okay. So this place is fine? Or not?
Oh, don't know. But if something else comes, yeah, we can run. But also, do you know anything about the King's Hounds? They're from Kings Bay.
Not really. I've heard of this place.
He said he was being chased. Which, if there's one close by, we should definitely run. But let's hope he was just being a little bit crazy, paranoid.
Were the guards that we dealt with, I don't think they're not full, right?
Yeah, 9 swords.
There's so many of them.
I know that the King's Hounds are like it's red. Or is that like a rumor? Or?
The King's Hounds specifically come from the area around Kings Bay and Prologue. Sorry, Kings Bay and Caligo Valley. A kind of loose term that is used to mention the type of military force that the king had requested, and one that obviously has some amount of
strange powers and the abilities that they should have.
It's not enough to make something like this fearful, but at least you're not sure if the wolf thing is true. They're good hunters, but of the king.
Yeah, I don't really have any local knowledge or any knowledge at all, so I'm not probably not the best person.
You're just from there. So. Alright, okay.
Yeah, they should be on their way. So he's being chased?
They chased him out of town. But I don't know if he's actually being chased by... They're like agents, I guess. So, an agent or maybe he's just...
Did Athena say anything about him?
She didn't say anything about him.
What does that map lead to?
It's just a map of the sanctuary. At least the northern half of the sanctuary.
Okay. If he wakes up, we'll have to ask him about it.
Have you ever heard of odium? Have I ever heard of odium? Have I ever heard of that?
That's what he said. The first thing he said.
That means outside of this.
Yeah, is it like a place or a person I might have been?
No, just that he said it.
You never heard of it?
Didn't understand.
I'm guessing he didn't name.
Can you write it down on the map?
I think I saw it on the back. I gave it back to him because he was...
He labels, so that's kind of...
Maybe let's give it to him.
Okay.
Or with someone else.
And
I'm gonna go start reading through. So I'll take this since I have.
where do you? I mean, there's a bunch of even more broken buildings around you. There looks to be some buildings still remaining that sit down
on grass that hasn't been splattered with blood.
Awesome. There are patches. There are.
This whole entire village is maybe a 1 foot square. You can sit down.
Sit in that 1 foot spot. There's a lot of blood just from these two creatures attacking, but the weirder part is that there really isn't much sign of breaking and entering other than the destruction these guys have made. It's like the whole town was abandoned and no one left with anything.
I'll be close enough where I can keep an eye out.
Yeah, keep a left eye for it. Yeah, gotcha.
Keep one eye.
Staring down at him like a mother.
You see there are twitches in the face. Twitches' facial expression is certainly of fear. Stricken with some sort of guilt. You don't even have to do insight checks. These are just very large and elongated facial expressions.
I'm glad I don't because I'm not good at it.
But he wakes. Wait! And then falls back unconscious. And the two of you hear that as you bend around the last corner of the cliffside. You hear this tone. And then, early on, as you think he's about to fall back unconscious,
Yeah, I scramble backwards because he will kill me.
he just stays sitting upright.
You okay? Can I call you Sculptor? Are you Odium? Odium, yeah.
He looks at you and understand how you know his name.
You said it, and it's written on your map.
Holds in his hand the map, opens the crunched piece of paper, and lets it just fall into the puddle.
That's maybe I'll reach forward. Well, these are my friends. That's Cornell. He patched up your arm, and I point over to the monstrous people in my friend group. That's Moki, the horse guy, and Grok, the
You see 6 foot tall upper half sit up.
Mogi,
5.5.
just put it right there next to that broken wheel.
Oh, he got bigger. Just from water.
he's large. He got even larger.
Am I bold?
Yes.
No.
No.
He says 6 feet tall.
He's,
While he's
sitting up 6 feet tall.
Oh, sitting up 6 feet. Okay.
He was around 9 feet tall when you first encountered him. Now he looks probably with the lower half of about 12.
Yeah.
Missing an arm and looking around kind of confused.
Do you want to try to stand up? We should get you over the well.
He kind of like turns his body over and begins to crawl, but then
I go to reach to offer him assistance, and I'm like,
you try to push him up.
Moki, can you come over here, please?
Oh,
Can you maybe try to help him up?
okay.
Because I cannot.
I will help him up
With your one arm.
with my
Just use him to lean on.
use. Okay.
He is in a kind of crawl position with one arm. So he tries to lean in your direction. Are you on the half with the arm or the half without the arm?
About.
Okay, so you have to support him. He falls. But his stump arm that you see is a tourniquet in the type of way that you've seen Cornell do before.
Let's try to get him over the well. He should be able to heal himself a bit more.
You see he almost gets to it and then stops. I was testing the endurance. I knew it. Reaches into the well, the hand that, is probably 4.5 feet long, reaches in, scoops up a handful of very, very grimy water, and you just see it weirdly soak into the skin, even the grime. And that green texture that was the grime seems to, stain the rest of the tan skin of the palm of his hand. Loki, you're watching a very, very deformed, strange thing happen as a being soaks in water with its one remaining hand, its body just leaning into the well, scooping out water. I was testing a vial made from the ichor of something very, very bad. And
You drank all that.
I did drink some.
I hoped it would heal my lost fingers, but it transformed my hand. I was not only a sculptor of clay, I was a sculptor of flesh, a demon grafter. The church hired me to dismember, disassemble things with weird flesh.
Right?
You could just normally do that.
Not the good ones. Although,
If you look at the
he's an expert in the subject matter. Makes sense for them to.
Father Isaiah said he had a potion that could heal me, made of the bodies I cut up. It turned me against my hope.
You're from Cruller.
Yes. The apothecary was something I was ordered to protect from the church.
Who?
The Father Isaiah,
Did he tell you why? He was part of the church.
the historical importance.
What was in the apothecary? What were you protecting? This doesn't make any sense.
There's, and he begins to draw with his one remaining hand on the ground, 3 circles, each 3 inches apart. Puts 3 big fingers in each 3 circles he's drawn with his fingers. They are connected along constellation alignment.
Alignment of what?
They are the alignment of Ein Dara. A-I-N-A-I RTA. Ein Erter, guardian of the forest. His belt. There are things that do not make sense, but are no coincidence. Alignments. Oh, so many alignments.
Seems to me like his father Azia, or maybe the church as a whole, wanted to use you as a scapegoat for whatever they were doing. Or maybe you're just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Lucky I had my letter, or I would have been silent sooner.
What letter?
A letter I gave to a sergeant of the nine swords of the Hollow Valley.
Sergeant Simmer?
Yes.
I look over to Cornell.
He was investigating their dark hidden knowledge, because I told him the letter he had protected me from being enslaved by the church or worse.
Yeah, he's dead.
That is not optimal.
Mm-hmm.
What type of
There were books or pages, code he was deciphering. He found them in the church I was working in. I was sculpting a statue of Tallulah, and he said he did not trust the priests, but he could trust me, even though everyone else in the town chose to betray. He seemed to not trust anyone but me in the church.
This was in the apothecary or the Fallen Flame? The Church of the
Fallen
Fallen Flame.
Flame is the church of the righteous. Righteous flame. It is five become one, he told me. There is a
fire become one? So 5 is one. Become
five. Who said?
But if it is one, then they five out once become one. They would
The five gods, do you see? They are but servitors. They are enslaved. They are godlike. Pagans that came from a different continent but have value to the history here, history below.
dark below. Hell.
The cause.
Who's Professor Dagenfond?
The rich guy.
He points
And
to
crueler.
the third circle.
Cool.
This guy's the circle is Professor Dang.
Awesome. Alright. You figured out.
Three circles. Out of the three, he drew three circles on the ground and said they're
Professor
constellations aligned.
Professor Dagenfond, or at least someone named Dagenfond, was the one who put out the warrant for the wolves.
He also has one of the times. First one.
Actually, that's Madame Dagenfond.
Yeah, so one of them, a Dagenfond. I assume one of the noble people in Florida.
I guess so.
Hey,
Currently he's a royal bindery.
That's I'm gonna assume that's in Crueler. If not, his wife's there, or his daughter, or
I am a monster, but I just wanted to find the truth. I became a monster because I looked for the truth.
not a monster unless you do monstrous things.
I killed
Oh,
because they were going to kill me.
well, that's self-defense. That's not really. Don't worry about it.
They did not know that I was not evil. Corruption in my body, different from the corruption. The Church of the Righteous Flame has one of the books, the Black Book. The church has a doctor, Eshma. He gave me the serum of regeneration. I did not know that it would corrupt me so horribly.
That's the serum you took. You said it came from a tree. Is it one of the trees that have been struck by the storms?
It was was the roots beneath the church. Is all I was told. The doctor who said he had a cure for my deformity. And he points to his four-fingered hand.
So you're just trying to get that thing. You realize
I was a sculptor.
yeah, so
That's, so you get more control. It's like with a sword.
It was my pinky finger.
But yeah, it's the control finger. You really need it for lifetime.
prosthetic.
Looks at you like he doesn't understand the word.
I feel like never mind. I'm judging. I shouldn't judge.
You're just gonna keep running forever? Where are you gonna go?
North sucks.
Yes.
I feel East Haven accepts the abominations, but West hides the abominations better in the mountains. I'm
What is it, sir?
East.
In character.
East.
East.
You thought you could have figured that out by the name. Signs on the east.
It is home of another great oak tree. This infection I have is ever evolving. If I swim in a lake, it multiplies. But it does not mean my control is guaranteed. The black blood below the crypts, that is what he injected me.
Do you feel like you're losing control of mind? Or
I feel stronger the more I drink. I do not know if that is madness or if madness is just power.
How many days?
Hmm?
How many days?
The injection was 2 days before the day of grazing. 4 days ago, I left the temple of the righteous flame, the church, and on yesterday I transformed. It was as if the church held back the dark ichor. Damn it. I'm safe until I left.
it's probably a holy place.
So how could they make such darkness there?
Not the church, not the people living in it. Are you a worshiper of Cthulhu?
I have sculpted her many times.
That's not what I asked.
I do not find a god aiding me, so I do not worship one. I merely
Reasonable point of view.
make what is asked of me. I remember Father Ezra said no disease will affect me inside the church. Prison. The church has a library, and behind the library is a medical volumes of texts. From here to I saw texts that were Eastern.
I play East. Big continent. Very, very important continent.
That's really is.
What?
Different.
Different continent. We're on Domino.
I never traveled before.
You didn't even know the name of the continent you were born on?
Made it.
What's it called?
Big landmass. Like country, but bigger.
Oh.
Country's like a town, but bigger. Town is like a village, but bigger. And villages have people in them and live, and they name the places. It's like a really small one.
He's joking.
All right, yeah. You told the joke. I don't think I've seen you tell the joke before. That's good.
All I was told from Sinsima was the gods of mankind are nothing before banished ones.
No, they.
And the gods of elves. Bad gods. Evil gods.
The banished scion ones were what he was fearing. The banished ones, the banished sire ones, or as they are known, the all great ones.
Did Sinsimmer do his research, or him and his wife, in the church library? Or somewhere else?
They were able to take some information, but most was kept in the church. They would not let it leave.
I didn't think Sinsima was religious.
It wasn't. But when you discover religion you sort of realize it's actually important.
So, Mr. Monster.
Odium.
What are your plans now?
So there was.
I am not fast enough. Then we are all being chased.
You said the king's hounds were following him. Do you know that, or do you just think it?
The Caligo garrison, which is the northernmost part of Kula, holds a small faction of the Hounds of the King.
Oh, that's not good.
The Caligo garrison is a off-branch of their biggest in the southern part of the land. I never went down there, but they are feared up and down the head, essentially. If they are coming here, my stench is strong enough that it will muffle yours, but will
They can follow yours and follow that.
draw to here, which we are all smelling from you guys.
How many days ago were you, how many days behind us?
18 hours.
Hours now.
Well, they could be, following, but
If they did not stop, as I did not, then they would not be far behind.
Probably go that way.
He looks right to more of the open valley, and then looks left, and his eyes seem to read more into his thoughts going west than they do right. Going east into the open valley in the kind of direction of the even bigger valley of the sunken place you're in.
Listen now, the road tender.
I mean, we could lead you to him. I might just get him killed. But probably not. Let's be honest, I don't really care about
I
it.
need to find water.
We need a place for that. Talking is knowing this conversation and preparing the cart. That's why he hasn't spoken the whole time.
Beautiful.
He's not here.
I'm going to say you take 20 and do it, because it was only going to take an hour. And close by and chuckle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How about we take him to the bull guy, we see what the guy is about, leave him with him, and then go about whatever we're doing. I don't want to leave him. How about we...
We could just take them off.
Yeah. Look, how about we...
You think I could fit right in with this?
Well, no, if they're chasing him...
Just kill them.
I was
He
banking
holds
on...
his stump.
For what we did, I was banking on there not being any actual investigators. Anybody actually intelligent will be able to figure out what happened, including one of the King's Hounds, probably, if there's a small one. So they're following him, or they could follow us.
If the church wants me dead, they will send the hounds.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, considering you have knowledge, I'm
Yeah.
sure they want you dead.
They also tried to kill you, so
Also
they probably
tried to-
want you.
I don't know why they thought wood would hold me.
Well, before
Yeah.
they were trying to keep you alive, they made it so they couldn't leave 5 minutes of the church.
Did you try to leave, or did something make you try to leave?
They pulled me out.
Oh, so
And by the time they did, I had begun to transform. It's like they knew before I did.
so you got to the end of your usefulness, and then they used you.
I wasn't even the fur they were after. I don't have hair. I don't have a pelt. I saw the signs for hunting. Was it all to get me?
I know. I think we're reading too much into this. These are mysteries that we don't need to solve. Alright. How about we go through this town. We'll give it 2 hours. We get everything we can find. We put it on the cart, and then we go to try to find this grove. You come with us. There's a whole person, sort of a monstrous individual. Maybe he can help you.
That's strange. Far north. That is strange.
It's to the east, so away from ocean, but maybe there's a river or lake there.
What, may I ask, are you seeking?
I'm just helping them. I like to help people.
They don't look like they know where they're going.
That's the problem. So for now, I say where we go, and they follow me.
Yeah, that's basically how it works.
He looks longingly west.
I can tell you what to do, but I don't think...
But we already Grove, whatever it's called, Bloomhaven, Bloomhold, something like that. That was was west.
That was west of here, but not too far west, I don't think.
Well, we can either head that way together, and if he doesn't come out from it,
Yeah.
just keep going.
He tries to pull the map out of. Oh, no, you grab the map. He tries to pull what remains of the map from his pocket and just rips the wet paper in half. BV.
Got a last name?
You know where that is?
My last name is Bernardi.
Hey, Grog.
Yeah,
You good at geography?
I am actually. You know, I'm a sailor, right? I have to learn sea charts.
I
to
mean
make sure
land
everything's-
Yes,
Yes, I do know
Do
land.
you know
geography.
anywhere north of here that's called BV?
BV?
Yeah.
Hey, I'll go back a second. Or do that first, but either way, you're a sailor, yeah?
Yeah.
That means you know constellation.
What? To an extent.
Constellation, you said?
Not a professional navigator, but I do know a little bit.
Constellations.
Sir. Ein Erta.
Ein Erta. Ein Erta.
Erta.
Ein A-I-N-A-I-R-I-T-A.
8.
Ein Erta.
Sounds. For the professional role, would it be?
Geography, I guess. This is constellations that I don't believe.
Well, there's
Yeah, it could be sailor professional.
There's knowledge, astronomy, or there's a profession role, and I have the profession role of skill in sailing.
Okay.
It's just wisdom, so it's a little less.
Yeah, totally. Well,
Alright.
roll.
It's not too bad. That's 17 for sailor check.
I know a bit about the stars, but not these ones. Can I make a roll for knowledge of some kind?
You technically, like,
I don't know if that would be. Near
astrology
nature or
is a very elven related subject.
There's feats for astrology. And
But yeah, exactly. You're really going to take this stuff for it. I don't know.
Rip.
Nick, this is up to you. I'm going to.
I have a +3 to knowledge checks, so
You don't have proficiency. You got geography. Yeah, look, let's get you both to roll 2 separate knowledge checks for me. And you add your profession, you add geography.
no, the profession role is just another role.
It's a different skill.
Yeah, it's a different skill.
Yeah, he rolls a knowledge geography. and you roll profession.
17 for
Yeah.
exception.
actually my DC would probably be higher.
Well, I'm using my last plus on you.
ATM.
Constellation of a very, very strange cross. A bow and a dagger. Crisscross.
I like both those things. Yep.
And specifically, the dagger is not actually like a dagger. It is a 3 stars in alignment, one at the front and one at the back, showing the blade, the hilt, and the pommel. And then above it, in a kind of like a V, is the bow. I can actually give you a little representation. Little representation. But oh,
And the other thing you asked was the land of
Gotham. So you don't actually get confused.
I know, just on this map it's got BV.
right.
I'm assuming it's a valley of some kind.
Rob, you actually notice that star alignment, at least the actual the dagger part, 3 aligned dots, 3 circles drawn on the ground by the sculptor.
I've heard of the constellation before, but
It points north.
it's the northern pointing star. It's helpful when you lose the compass, or there's a magnetic field playing with it.
Seems like a Southern Cross.
I guess. I've never heard of the Southern Cross before, but
The Northern Cross.
I've heard of the Northern Cross.
It's a don't worry about it.
You can understand. You can understand from what Grok says that this makes sense.
Definitely.
Is there any sort of symbolism behind it? Apart from just finding more? Specifically that might ascertain to what big fella over here was talking about?
Well, other than being a tool for navigation, I'm not too knowledgeable in that aspect. You need to ask a professional like astrologer or something like that.
The big thing turns around, kneels in front of Grok, looks at Grok downwards slightly, but kneels in front of Grok, looks down at him, and says, "They are all aligned."
Stars or the constellations?
Or the planets.
That's planet.
It's this like, it's like you know how the water ends when you're on the sea?
What?
When you're looking out the water ends.
You mean the horizon?
Yeah,
You mean the horizon?
Planet.
No, you can just keep going. It's like a round thing. Oh, you mean, so it's like a continent but bigger?
Yeah.
Alright, I understand. It's like a plane. Oh, that makes sense. Wow.
Oh, wait, it was planet.
You don't know what a continent is, but you know what a planet is. Okay, sure.
I just didn't know what ours was called.
Hey, Grok, you're the one who reads Giant.
Yeah, I read it.
Great. What do you do?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
Pussy.
7 lines.
What are you, a fucking bitch? There's no way I would put traits in linguistics if it didn't give me a language every single. And it's also floater rate. It's a very important skill for me. But
In the
it's
three
part of
dots,
PS
in
skill.
the 3 dots on the ground, he does that. Writes a bunch of letters, marking the top of these dots, without ever looking at a map.
Guys, I don't know, but I'm having a lot of trouble reading this right.
Why would that be rude? We didn't write it.
Well, it seems to be relatively important for the first time.
Cornell, I think you should stop. I think you should stop reading those things.
No, it's a comp.
Oh,
I think you should stop reading that.
I think I should.
well,
Or more
probably
because
right?
it's crazy and also.
I mean that too. But I think this whole mystery is way above our pay grade, and we should ignore it completely and continue doing what we were gonna do.
Hey,
I mean, I sort of we should weigh in over our heads.
I sort of want to, like, find this blood type tree thing.
That's just because you drank some of it. This is not gonna help us find your family. Or anything like that.
Probably not, but it's still an interesting.
We already found the tree.
Oh, yes, but they have one under that church, which seems different.
That seems kind of. Maybe we should like head over to this church instead.
You look at the black.
You wanna go back to Crueler?
Oh, it's cool.
Well,
Yeah.
the tree that Reverend the
Right, maybe let's not go to the church instead. Maybe find another church. Dig under there and find a tree.
What if we?
There's another tree in East Haven.
What if we need a bunch of
An oak tree.
too cooler to destroy?
Maybe they can fix your broken ass
I'm
arm.
not really a fan of Felix.
Yeah.
Make me one intelligence check. I'll give you 1/3 of the answer.
Thanks.
Hmm?
No, 19's a 20. Oh my
Holy
god.
fucking shit, you needed a 20.
Okay. Plus March.
DBB.
I've lost my power.
DBB.
Dragon Ball D.
Big butt balls. DBB
DBB.
is the hit.
It is referenced, you've referenced it before, and Rocket takes you a few moments, but it is a name. It is a title. Maybe these are all titles, but it could also be because it was just stated. But DBB is weird that it has the initials for Dagenfon's book bindery.
Dungeons, Baggins. David Bilbo Baggins. That's his first name.
Shut them
Which you remember being on the wanted poster, the Dagenfon estate.
I will say, one of these tongues does mention, one of these pages talking about the tongue does mention a broken constellation. But I don't know if that's helpful.
Maybe one of the stars is missing.
Seems to be.
Maybe there was a cloud that night.
What's the
1954.
with ray? The with ray. What's that?
You mean Nerfa?
NWY.
It's a silver. It's a silver word.
What?
Well, I guess Domino now. But I mean,
That's the name of the company.
See, that's weird because it says.
does it have a literal translation or something?
Yeah, actually, you register it in Celestial. Sorry, Sylvan,
Like
which
what?
is
I didn't speak that.
which
Damn
is
it.
life force. That's what Goifra means. Goifra.
No,
Wait for it.
or that.
Yeah, the way I'm gonna pronounce this. Yeah, no, it's
I
kind
have
of
the
fucking.
pronunciation guy.
You gave it to me.
Maybe
You
I got sort of background, so text is always. Well, it just seems weird that they make mention that Domino and WYFRE are different things.
And they renamed this continent, when they arrived here. But Nerfa, that is the original name. Hey,
the word replaced in Celestial was
I don't speak Celestial.
burned out of your grandfather's library,
Ah,
which we
that's
discussed
right.
last night.
That's right.
Maybe they're just translating.
Different word.
I can make sense.
there also no meaning of life force, which is what?
You believe that word has many languages across many different systems.
I have no clue what community that's
Hello language in North.
Is Domino an Elvish word? The common word?
Is it a Farzad word?
I know a lot of languages. I don't know that one. But maybe it means something. I speak Dwarvish.
Yes.
He knows it.
Oh my god.
Guys, I know one language.
What is it?
Farzad.
I don't know what that is.
It's basically common, but for reaching
Oh, that's nice.
What does it mean, Dave?
the doors below.
Okay, so the pre-divide omens of the doors below or life force. That's what I'm hearing.
Well, they were referring to the life force when the
Or, sorry, door or gate.
woman cracks to the life force below.
Basically, Domino is the entrance to hell.
Oh, no. Very well, maybe. I'm not quite sure. Where do orcs come from? That's really the answer to that question.
Space.
Where do they go?
They come from space.
Honestly, they are just disgusting little
They
space.
grow out of the ground and eat people.
Very true.
I mean, look, I've tried my best to sort of interpret what they're saying. There's a whole line here. It's a completely different language. I don't know what it's about.
Right.
It's
So-
Alka, Nana
Pre-divide, that means a full.
Who are
Scocalium,
Yeah, before the Sea of Shadows starts in.
No. That is not clear on
And
that.
I believe
What is Dragonfall?
Oh, that happened in the
Librarian and I guess rich people are cooler.
and GD being great divine.
Should be noble.
Oh, yeah.
At least that's what I understood. but I know nothing about.
Literally the age where a third of the world's
The
population.
man is a
More than a third.
what?
Do you know what informant?
Alka, Nana Scocalium, Ban,
Not in this part of the world.
Peichu, Sicar.
I mean, yes, Admina, but
Abacus.
Okay.
what I'm hearing is that now most of you want to go back to Crueler.
No, I don't want to go back to
we
Cruel.
will not go.
I'm just
Okay, we can't investigate this without going back to Crueler.
Well, what if we were there? There's people that are chasing him. What if you carry him?
Look, how about we
They're just agents. They don't know.
That's true, yeah.
how about we found the town? We spend a week.
Work agents can read, right?
I mean, it depends on how important.
No,
We
no.
will patch ourselves up for a week.
What's the general? Can most humans read in this continent?
And then we'll head
What's
back
the
to
ratio?
Small town.
We'll figure out what you're
Right in this kingdom.
Even in small towns, literacy levels are pretty high in this continent.
Whoa.
Even in small towns, a lot of them can read. I don't know about write, but read definitely.
Well, I mean, there seems to be relatively large amount of literal written history.
Actually, one of what Cornell read out, which was words that he did not understand when he said it.
Alcanano.
Caden, I sent it to you. Sent it to you last week.
Oh, yeah.
And it is your hope for the Sylvan language. Because what he said was Sylvan.
Oh, yeah. That fucking dog thing.
So what he read out loud. He said, does anyone understand?
I mean, it kind of sounds like it looks like Elvish, but I don't know. It's kind of like what?
What is it?
It's Alka, Nana Wounds, Scocalium Bomb, Peichu Saku, Omada, Abacus.
Make a religion check. Sorry, linguistics.
Also, the fact that Nana Wounds is the creation facet of Index.
22.
It is Sylvan, and it was almost didn't.
You butchered the pronunciation of that, Paul.
Very
This
much
is
so.
very difficult. Luckily, I'm extremely intelligent.
I'm sorry. It is weird. Come, Nana Ut, advisor to the gate. Open the lock so that I may enter awake.
So what does that mean?
I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's also, that's from the Book of Psalms.
That the,
Yep.
I
Sylvan translation.
Damn it, he understands it too.
Full translation, did you?
Yep. It's only a sentence though.
So, that's also the page that they say it's not 5 anymore, which I believe is talking about potentially, I mean, also the tone, but the 5th tone is also about the symbolism of the number 5, which is like, apparently there are 5 lands, 5 nations. Check out what? Kings Bay.
This continent has 5 nations. This world has 5 continents.
Kings Bay.
Sanctuary.
Salem.
That's him. That's
These are also cities, not nations.
yeah. These are
Kings Bay.
Kings Bay is the sanctuary.
Gallagher.
That's also sanctuary.
Kings Bay.
Sanctuary. East Haven is in. God, what's the name of the fucking?
Sounds like
That's like
Oh,
Charles.
Pharaoh. I thought it was
Charles.
okay.
Charles Orwell.
Charles, that's
that's the
Dark State.
Dark State is not.
Dark State's Dark State's no. What the fuck is it called? Charles. I thought Charles was the name.
Charzal is the orcish
Yeah.
crash site.
That's a crash.
That's the day we're
Come
going
on.
Keep going.
Fuck you, Grog. How about you say it then, huh?
I'm not even going to make Grok roll. Unless if Grok wants to say it, he gets
Dynasty, Sanctuary, Pharaoh, Dark State, and God, what's the fucking orcish dwarf? Blackstone? No, that's also
pretty
the
close.
country.
That is there. Blackstone is there.
Black.
They'll start with B.
BC.
Brand,
Grandgate, right.
and then Granada Dynasty, which is the
Yeah, Dynasty.
Yeah, so there's 5 lands.
We don't talk about the dynasty.
What are the lands? I'm assuming those are just nowhere lands.
Yeah, I guess.
And then there's 5 monsters.
Cornell,
What?
for God's sake, do you want to solve the mystery or not?
Well,
Could you read that again?
read what?
Thing.
Do you want to read it?
No.
Really, I wish.
I don't want to solve the damn mystery, but if all of you want to try, I guess I'll help you.
No, I just want to solve it here and now.
We can't.
Anywhere to solve
It doesn't matter how many deductions we make, how many times we go over the damn information.
Yeah.
Until we actually investigate, we ain't going to find anything.
Because it was never sent to me. But I
Our
do know
only
one
lead
of
is
the
in
words
the crawler.
is the hand cradling stars, and then Nanarok is the goal for sleep, rest, and love.
Also, guys, don't go to sleep. That's also a little.
Don't
Look.
fall in love.
I'll try to avoid it. I got papers from Edmina. We all have papers now. Not efficient ones,
well,
but papers.
We can't go back to cooler because then they'll just kill us.
Why?
Because we killed 7 people.
They don't know that, hopefully.
I'm pretty sure they do.
No, we hit it up pretty well.
Okay.
Right, there were
I copied and pasted it.
Sounds nice.
This way.
Like I said,
There's also a book on plagues, which I don't really get that one. Sounds like maybe it's
probably makes plagues. There is a plague going around.
like a disease, and it's like a madness disease, and it's like an organism.
Was an organism.
It's basically it's a creature, basically like you're an organism. I'm an organism.
Ugh, I don't like the words.
He's an organism.
Why is common such an ugly ass
Oh,
language?
it just came to me. Come, Nanarok, advisor to the gate. Open the lock so that I may enter.
No, that must be other dialect. I'm sorry, I
What's
learned different.
What's the whole grasping stars thing?
That's her astrological symbol, the cradle of stars,
Her, you mean?
the goddess of sleep, rest, and love.
Oh, rest.
If that's who Nanarok is, you advise to the gate, open the lock, there, enter awake.
So we
God, you're so smart.
do we want to grab that boot? Like maybe.
You want to grab that head?
So you do want to go back to cooler?
Well, I figure we're all sort of moving that direction. I want to go see the Minotaur.
We can do that as well.
I also want to go to the Minotaur Man. Can we just have like a week's break?
I mean, you also got to get your shit.
No more excitement.
No,
We just
we're
gotta take a week's
currently
break.
being hunted by probably.
Let's look, let's just go. Let's go to the Minotaur
I
Man.
don't think any of us need a week's break.
I do need a week's break.
Let's go to the party. Our plan
No, we're
was
gonna go
originally
to the Minotaur.
Man.
Waters deep,
So
whatever it
let's
is.
go to the Minotaur Man.
Cornhole, which is
Yeah,
that
if
cornhole
we're
right here.
he'll know some
Yeah, we're getting
stuff about
cornhole.
us, too.
Yes.
We just gotta go west. Hopefully we find it. Show me the 200 pound.
Follow Felix the map, so you can see it. As
We are here. We gotta go this way.
the big guy leans down in front of the elf and pats your head for him. You are the first of your kind to show me kindness.
Yeah, I'm getting the idea. All the elves I ever met were so nice. Why are we so rude to all the other races? It doesn't make any sense.
Because I'm human.
Just because you're all better, just because we're better than all of you, doesn't mean we have to go around.
Stands up, now way taller than he was
Oh,
before,
God, it's so
3 feet tall or more, and looks west
You want to go to Blossom.
and
That's the name.
Blossom.
begins to run east.
Wait,
What?
wait, wait!
Hold on.
Are you in the Silver Port?
Oh wait, never mind. He's being charitable. He's going east so that we can go west.
We have to go east to get to the bull guy.
No, he's west. Bull guy's west.
Bull
What's
guy's
the point of that? He's doing a sacrificial play.
That's right, west of. Wait, didn't you want to go to East Haven? You're going the right direction.
Thank you, sir. We will miss you.
I'll miss him.
And as the distant, loud, 1-ton footsteps disappear into the distance,
Okay, they're still following him, so we need to hurry.
And the cart, Grok, has wheels forward.
No. We'll take. We gotta strip this place of all useful things. Let's go.
Who starts to strip it?
What, you guys have been doing this the whole time? What have you been doing?
We're trying to figure out mysteries.
Well, I was doing some Scooby-Doo, okay?
Look, I've been busy this whole time.
Does anyone have a dog?
And who has a good perception?
I have +8.
Perfect. You see in the open plains south, the direction you came, 3 black dots move over a hill and disappear out of sight.
Toward the lumbering giant.
Between it and you, heading north,
I think those are the hunters of the giant.
and it is maybe 20 k's ahead.
Oh my God, they are very far. Your vision is very good.
Oh, that's why they have black dots.
All horses have great vision.
I can't see that far.
You don't have horse eyes.
It is open plains.
Unless you do.
There is,
Does he have horse eyes? Except their front facing.
just the red iris. And as the one begins to drift away and the distant sight of some
Okay, how
3
about
dark moving spots.
How about we make it a 10-minute loop instead?
You guys know anything about ambrosia?
You mean the drug?
I thought it was like sap.
Well, I mean, I don't know how it's made, but maybe we're talking about different things.
I believe it's generally referred to the food well.
Yeah, that's why it's a drug. Sorry, this might be a regional thing.
Distracted. Maybe we should start with
Food where
Yeah.
you eat it, everything else.
Okay, I'm gonna wait on the horse. So you guys leave.
Did you put his saddle on?
No, I was just gonna wait on it.
You're gonna
ride it.
You're gonna sit. Can you put his saddle on, please?
You want me to put a saddle on a horse?
If you're gonna ride him.
You
You like being uncomfortable?
I can do that.
we only
Please.
buy those, don't we?
No.
Just fine.
Well, wait. Are you gonna be able to pull the cart?
I could pull the cart and pull nothing right
I'm going to pull the car.
No. I mean, we might have to use him, but if you're willing to pull it, that would. Yeah.
I'll just pull the cart.
Okay.
Someone else.
All right.
Pull people to right.
Put wherever we find,
Grab the cart.
we will put the loot on the cart.
Be careful with the. Actually, yeah. Let's put my stuff and all of our other stuff on the cart as well.
Okay, and you pack stuff up, and I'm going to say you spend the majority of this 10, 20 minutes, let's say 10 minutes, getting just every piece of useful scraps of whatever is left from this town. And I will say that we can discuss over the next 2 weeks what that extended amount of supply is, because there's things that are very common day items that you guys can pick up. If not utilizing them now, you can utilize them in the future.
I'll pick up Alice's boot.
Okay.
Boot. All right.
I left it on the thing next to his
It is a
head.
black leather boot with a small heel at the end.
In my sack.
I'll be perfect for
I
now.
mean, is the head even identified?
In case my left boot.
The head of I believe Loki was still holding it, but did
But it was like switch.
it looked like weirdly that it's kind
One
of
of his cheeks probably
it's
going.
puffed
It's okay.
out a bit more, like inflated.
Very weird. Decapitated heads don't actually pop out.
That was full information. That's not how that works.
It's not how that works. Actually, who wants to real quick both of you make perception checks? You two, being the people who are looking at this head.
Look, there's a doctor.
This little.
He's a doctor.
He is a doctor.
27.
Perception. Never mind.
Oh, sorry.
It's a giant horse eyes. You can see it.
Jake, do you have the profession doctor?
There is a
Worse than you.
Also, as you leave, I'm just gonna yell, "Loot the thing if you can!
there is
Loot the temple!"
a pale
Oh no, there's not.
a pale puffiness to the
Damn.
creature's face, but you notice almost under the layer of skin that is still there, underneath the paleness, there is a faint green complexion. That is where we will end the episode.